What's going on, YouTube world? I'm Dave. That's Steve. Wrong direction. Okay. Yeah, I suck at this. Insert Revolution podcast. Steve. Vinny over there. Dave is fashionably late. He will show up. Please understand this is not my forte of doing this by myself. So hopefully you get a good laugh or a good chuckle. But it is what it is. If I would have checked my messages earlier, I would have seen. But IRP episode, what is it, 141?
Correct.
141. Wow. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And we actually have a guest that's joined us, which I wasn't expecting. See, this is why we need Dave. Dave does all this shit.
We don't know what's going on.
Dave does all this shit, and he doesn't tell us, and everything is a surprise. So I'll give you a few minutes to get settled down there. We see you. Hopefully you can hear us. As I said, Dave will be joining a little bit later. He was helping with the 12U softball game and needed to take a shower. Not that we could smell him through the computer, but we'll let him take a shower. So with that, I will go ahead and ask Vinny, how are you?
Dandy, Steve, and yourself.
Dandy? Really? That's what you're gonna fucking give me to start this off? Is dandy? Vinny, talk. See, you're not used to this either. It's not just me.
No, I'm not. And I didn't bring any for the past 7 weeks. I had cards to show, and I did tonight. Not a friggin' thing. Didn't bring anything with me.
It happens. Nice stomach, man. Looking good. Huh? You can't see it at the bottom of the screen.
Oh.
I will go ahead and bring on our guest. Dave, I hate you because since you don't bother to fill us in with anything, I don't know about shit. So, making their IRP debut, mind you. And I knew it was going to happen. The minute I clicked the button, the computer screen was going to fall.
Yeah.
Aaron Davis, how are you?
Good. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, Aaron?
Yeah, man. Dave sent me an invite earlier on this week, and it worked out. Today's a good day, man. So it worked out.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Well, welcome to the IRP. Normally, some of the guests kind of jump in pregame, so I didn't get a chance to pregame you, Aaron. I'm sure Dave may or may not have told you, but, other people will have filled you in. We only have 2 rules on this show. Only 2. No religion, no politics. Outside of that, there is nothing off limits. If you want to cuss about something or go off on a tangent about whatever, feel free.
Sounds good.
May have to reel you in a little bit if you go off a little bit into left field or whatever, but hey.
Sounds good, man. So what's going on, fellas?
So national talk, man. Freaking 2 weeks. 2 weeks away. Crazy, crazy, crazy to think. Now I'm only speaking from and I'll speak for Vinny because he's a little bit shy because we're not used to having Dave not here. We've planned this since November. I think we got our tickets 2 weeks after they went on sale, I think.
No, the day they went on sale, I bought mine.
Did we actually do it the day they went on sale?
The day they went on sale.
Okay. And then like January, hotel rooms were booked. And it's like November, January. Now it's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So are you going this year?
Yeah, man. The hype is on. I'm going to be kind of joining Xavier.
Xavier coming too?
Yep.
Yeah. We got
awesome.
Shit. We booked our rooms. I want to tell you back in January too. And yeah, man, time is here. I'm hyped.
That's freaking awesome. I know you and him are like super super close. I know you consider each other brothers, like legit brothers,
Yeah.
family, which is a lot. You know, like Dave, myself, Vinny, Bob Lewis when he decides to join. You know, it's the extended family, and you know, getting together in something that has brought us together is freaking awesome. It's freaking awesome. So this will be my first national. I don't want to speak for Vinny, but this will be his
Oh,
first
yeah.
national. Um, so it's like the nerves are really kind of starting to settle in, honestly, because I've never met Dave. I've never met Vinny. You
Wow.
going, I've never met you, Aaron. So that's going to be awesome to finally meet you. I've watched your stuff for years. I know you've been a little dormant on the tube as of late, but
Yeah.
still, uh, knowing that Xavier's coming is freaking awesome. I've been watching him for years. You know, he's been on the show in the past, which was great to chit chat with him.
Yep.
And I mean, he talked a lot about y'all's relationship, which was kind of cool to hear more in depth of how that culminated over the years. And speaking of our wonderful, gracious host, he finally decides to show his face.
There he is.
Don't ever ask me to do this again because it sucked.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad for 6 minutes 45 seconds.
Oh, but it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
We got 10 people. We got 10 people watching. So guess what? It wasn't terrible.
Tried to get Vinny to talk, and it's like he just like went. It was he just wouldn't. I'm like, okay, see, it wasn't just me. You're not used to it just being the two of us. And he's like, no.
So let me ask you something, guys. I mean, what's on your radar? Is there something particular you guys are looking for, or you just whatever catches the eye, or what do you guys do at the national? Well, I know this is going to be your first, but Dave, you've been to nationals before.
It's for me, and I think I won't speak for the other two gentlemen, but it's a lot of taking in the lay of the land because they haven't been to one. I haven't been to one since 2011. So I mean, it's completely flipped around where I'm sure it won't be like, oh man, I can just walk the aisles freely. Hey, what's over there? That case, looks like a lot of vintage pre-war, not stuff I'm super interested in. Cool nonetheless, but I'm like, I'm not gonna spend 20 minutes looking through that stuff when it's not stuff that I'm bringing into my collection or really at this time have an interest to bring in. It's gonna be whatever catches the eye. I would love to find stuff that I want for collections. I don't really feel or I don't anticipate like I'm gonna be sitting there and like, man, there's like a table like 90 stuff, just rando players. Hey, there's a Josh Johnson like logo tag or something. If I find that stuff, that's absolutely cherries on the sundae.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going there, and I've said it for a while now, just because camaraderie and food. It's those two things. If something pops that I'm like, I did not fucking expect to see that. I will be more than happy, but I won't pay a premium because I'm at the national. The buyer's premium doesn't work there because the dealer has to make the money back on their table and all their stuff, their expenses. That doesn't work that way. You can try, but if it's something that I feel is within reason, I will definitely be like, okay, I won't haggle. Joey Burkhead likes to haggle, loves that. If there's a super factor of somebody and they got a sticker of like 70 on it, I'll pay it. I don't want to deal with people. I deal with them at my job. If that's something I'll pay online, I will pay it right here. And cash, you don't have to worry about fees. We're all coming out ahead. I don't have to worry about somebody shipping it to me. It ends up in California, then goes to like Norfolk, and then goes to Austin, Texas, then up to Minnesota. It's like, come on, guys. It's not that hard. If I can say, here's 70, card, cash, exchange, shake hands. Hey, have a good national. Hope you do well. I'm more than happy to do that. But again, food. It's basically food and fellowship. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's about the same to me, man. I think back my first national was 2017, and I didn't have any expectations when I was going in 2017. I just wanted to have a good time, and meet a lot of YouTubers. But I got to tell you, man, that the minute I walked in that place, it was so fucking overwhelming. Just how big it was. It was incredible. It was like fucking 2 football fields put together with just cards and tables just running down them. So it was quite the experience, man. But I had a great time, man. I remember just chopping it up with dealers. And back then it was a lot different before the whole COVID thing. I mean, you could have awesome conversations with people and they begin to fucking like you. And then because they like you, you might get a discount.
Yeah.
So that happened to me a couple of different times when I was there. But the experience with just meeting all the other YouTubers and the aftermath and just hanging out and laughs and drinks, man. I mean, it was just an incredible experience, man. And hell, man, I met Lawrence Taylor when Lawrence Taylor was there in 2017. Man, I got a chance to joke with him. That was a cherry on top for me, man. That was just amazing, man. So, and this year is going to be, I feel it's going to be the same, even more so because I'm going to meet my brother Xavier, and I'm going to meet you guys for the first time, which is just fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a fucking blast.
See, and for me, I have no expectations. I am forcing myself to go home with no expectations. And the reason being is I don't want to put myself on such a high and run the risk of being disappointed. Not that I think I would. I just don't want to put myself in a position to where I could feel disappointed. Because for me, the show is just the show. I honestly really give no shits about the show. I really don't. I've never been a big show guy. Ever. I've been to 3 my entire life. And I was in my younger middle teens. Not the same as what it is now. Yes, am I going to be looking for stuff? Absolutely. My main PC, of course, I'm going to look for it. But I'm mostly shopping for my friends. And I'm shopping for them to return past gifts and favors. Because, let's face it, I've sucked at returning the favor. Not that I have to, not that they expect me to. It's because I want to. So I'm shopping for them. That's the main focus point for me from the show perspective. Outside of that, it's all about meeting people that I've interacted with for years and sharing the experience with who I consider my brothers. There's nothing better than that because that builds memories, that builds the relationship, that builds the friendships and those bonds even more than what it already is. Because when you actually get a chance to meet them, shake their hand, give them a bro hug, like it completely changes the dynamic of the relationship in a great way. And that's the part that I'm most excited about. Yes, to say I've been to a national 100%. Terrell Davis is signing at the national. I'm not paying $160 to get something autographed because that's stupid and too damn expensive. When I can get autographs for 50, 60 bucks all day long, I would rather do that than stand and say, hey, how's it going? And let him sign something. No, I'm paying for the photo op because that is a memory. Sitting there having him autograph something is great, but the photo op and being able to shake his hand and somewhat have a little bit of interaction more so than having him sign something, that's a memory.
Right.
And that's something that I can commemorate my first national by meeting my favorite player, the guy I collect, and I'm there with my boys. What better way to commemorate that? And of course the food.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's going to be awesome, man. Terrell Davis, man, incredible player. Actually went right to school out here in San Diego, man. And what a monster he was, man. A lot of fond memories of Terrell Davis running.
Yep.
Yeah.
I told the boys, I was like, other than Wednesday, get your VIP tickets and get the early walkthrough type stuff on Wednesday, get all that kind of stuff. Outside of that, Friday, 1:00. I don't care if we go to the show the rest of the week. As long as I'm there prior to getting the photo op, I don't give a shit. There's no plans. There's no, we got to do this. We got to go here this time. No, everything is open ended. I mean, there is the 2 after hours, like YouTube hangouts type stuff.
Yep.
We've been told we have to make an appearance by Wesker Griff. Fuck you, Ed. So I guess we will make an appearance, but it's not about the trade night aspect. It's about having the opportunity to be able to have conversations with guys like you, or Xavier, or Ed, or Bob, or anybody else that we've watched and interact with for years, to actually have a conversation to where we're not yelling across the freaking show floor so everybody can hear you.
Yep.
Yep. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys, man. Like I said, I've been watching you guys too. Dave Dave doesn't know it, but we go back a long goddamn way, because I've been watching him for a long ass time. So it's gonna be incredible, man. You guys are my football brothers, man.
Yes.
I don't have too many people I can chop up football with, man, and that's actually my favorite sport. I love football more than I do, baseball. I don't never come on and show my football collection like I should, but man, I'm incredibly passionate about football, man.
Yeah, and that's what it used to be on YouTube. That was when we started off. Yeah, you had a sprinkling of baseball, spritz of basketball, very, very, very little hockey, soccer, anything else, non-sport. It was football every day, all day. What'd you get? I got the football. Maybe someone like later on, like 2012, 13, you had some of that old guard, like the Wilkie, Sichtifer. They were getting the 5-star baseball, doing that autograph set, but it was still football. You were seeing football. It was literally Earl Campbell down your throat. Until you stop them, we're not going to stop showing football. So that's all it was football, and it just did a 180. And now football, you see it less than hockey almost. I mean, it's unreal how, unless it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, maybe a Burrow, Herbert, whatever the flavor of the month is, and then whatever football you can find out there. It's not like when I know I had one video going live and just showing all the patches and autos and all that shit. I'm like, you don't see people do that. And if you do it, if you're out there listening now or in the archive, put it in the comments. If you know football people like that, channel names, direct us to that, because that is always the folks that we gravitate towards, because that's my favorite sport. Now it's probably, I hate to say it, but softball, because that's all I do with the kid. And Steve, I know that's his favorite, other than soccer back in the day. So that's how we forged our friendship. It was like right away, okay, I collect Northcutt, I collect Natron Means, I collect Kerry Collins, and he's like, well, I collect Terrell Davis. Boom, right, same era. I mean, it's not even like, oh, I only collect John Elway and I only collect Brett Favre. Well, that's easy to collect those guys. Terrell had a great career, short. Natron had a couple good years, injured. Kerry, couple good teams, drunk, coming out of the fucking
right.
5 in the morning with the stogie. It's like, we know about, okay, short periods of time, but a lot of that same era of like great inserts, great parallels, stuff you just we're still stuck with because that's all you can gravitate back towards because
And
it's
we
such
both-
a part of your
and
collecting journey.
We both love Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, I love Drew Bledsoe.
Bledsoe was, yes, we formed the bond and the friendship for the love of football in the same era of the guys. But it was like it took a step up when we got on the Bledsoe conversation. And I collected Bledsoe before I collected Terrell Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Because I loved Bledsoe
Mm-hmm.
throwing the ball 50 times a game in his surrounding cast with Curtis Martin and Brigsby and Ben Coates, Meggett at some point in the realm. There was something about that offense and his ability to just fling the fuck out of the ball just intrigued me.
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted the 93 SP rookie, and I never acquired it early on until I got lucky at my one good card show experience. And I've shared this story on the show before. I'll give you the Reader's Digest version, Aaron, so I don't bore everybody from telling the same thing. 95 SP had just come out. Okay. Everybody was playing Pack Wars at this show. And yes, the inserts were great. The All Pro die cuts, the Bo Silver and the gold variation, and then the SP Hollow Views, and then the Hollow View die cuts were like everybody. That's what everybody was going for, right?
Right.
Well, the big two chase cards, as it pertained to pack odds, was the Joe Montana Salute and the Marino.
Mm-hmm.
So big cards, like one in like 12,000 packs or some shit like that. It's just astronomical. And my grandmother had given me like $20, and I bought packs. I pulled the Marino.
Oh shit.
And at the time, of course, brand new product, you didn't know what it was worth, so it's one of those, it's like, okay, prime opportunity to take advantage of it. But I'm like, no, I'm going to keep it. I was in San Angelo for not the best of reasons, and the card show was at the hotel motel we were staying at. So I held on to it for a day. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this back, and I'm going to go to the guy who sold me the packs because he had the Montana. So he's like, I want that Marino. And I'm going, okay, what do you give me? He's like, pick a card in the case up to X dollar value. And I was like, okay. And boom, 93 SP, Drew Bledsoe sitting in the case. So I kept looking, and I'm like, I'm not really seeing much in it. He's like, okay, I'll sweeten the deal. Any card in the case, in this case, and I'll give you $25. And I'm like, okay, I want the Bledsoe SP rookie and the $25.
Yeah.
Gave him the card, shook his hand, took my money, bought a few other cards, and I got what I considered at the time my holy grail.
Yes.
My holy grail. And I still picked up stuff from time to time, but I stopped collecting them. It's like, I don't know. It kind of fizzled. But I still have all my Bledsoe stuff, other than a few cards I've sent to Dave. But I have most of my Bledsoe stuff. And I'm still debating on going back and trying to complete the 93 run of Bledsoe. Because he sent me a Topps Gold from 93 last Christmas. And it's like, okay.
That was the big card I sent you.
No, not anywhere close. I couldn't even, I could, like, the two big cards to me are equals. One being a 101, yes, is great, but a Star Quest Gold number to 100, I don't know. It's hard to pick which one was better. And I love them both. So,
They don't
Vinny,
Stories are awesome, man.
Vinny, are you able to talk? Still no? Kitchen's still full? Okay, figured I'd have.
I'll tell you this much, man. As far as collecting goes, like back then in the early 90s and late 80s, for me, man, I was picking up a lot of vintage. I grew up in a household, man, where history was talked about pretty much all day long. And on our Sunday dinners, I mean, these guys were just talked about religiously. My father, grew up in Detroit, so he was a big time Lynn Barney fan, and he used to talk about his favorite running back, and his favorite running back was Lenny Moore. So of course, my one card that I wanted to have that Lenny Moore rookie card. So that was like the holy grail for me, man. When I got that card, man, it was incredible because, of course I knew the history about the guy, but just, getting the card in hand and then digging even further to who this guy was as a person just made that card just that much more special, man. But yeah, I always had my thing was running backs, man. I always loved running back shit. I played, tailback and all the way through high school into my first year in the college. So football, man, has always just been a thing. My dad, they were big time Negro League, collectors, and they used to go to a lot of the Negro League games. So baseball was talked about too. But I took a liking to that history, but I took more of that liking to just the football history too, because football is rich in history, which is a tragedy. It's not talked about as much as the baseball history. I think the NFL just does a poor shit job at promoting, NFL history, man. It's a tragedy, but I don't know, man. Football has just always been a thing for me. I don't know about you guys. What if you collect, player? I know you collect players, but position players and things like that. Running backs have always been my thing, man. Just love running backs. Let me show you something here. Show a card while we're talking.
You're gonna get the big treatment too, Aaron.
So
Maybe. Oh.
Now this guy, first of all, here's my Lenny Moore. Now for
Beautiful.
folks
that, we lost camera briefly. There it is.
Folks that are watching that don't know Lenny Moore, man, this guy, the younger guys will remember a guy like Roger Craig. Well, this was the Roger Craig of his era. This is a guy that was a dual threat, man. He could kill you behind the quarterback, but also kill you at wide receiver. This guy was way ahead of his time, man. Just a fantastic guy with great running back vision. Just fantastic ball player, man. Great hands, even a great route runner. But love this card. One of my favorite cards. The other card that was big to me was this Ollie Matson. This was another great running back. Nobody talks about this guy too. Right out here in California, man. This guy was remarkable.
That goes way back, Aaron. Way back.
I know, man. Yeah.
But that's cool as shit though, that you have had the opportunity to focus on some of the historical aspect of the game. I know the game is rich in history, and my experience only goes back so far anyways. Like when you start getting into the 50s and that type of stuff, I'm not as up to snuff. Not because I'm not interested. It's just my brain can only hold so much fucking information.
I got you, man.
Between cards and work and birthdays and just life in general, it's rich in history, like you said, and the fact that you've kind of tailored your collection around a position, but also a position that's rich in history to you.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Like this guy right here, man. Here's another guy. I'll show you this card. Leroy Kelly. The guy that now this guy too. A lot of great history at Leroy Kelly because he came out of a black university and right out of Morgan State. This guy was just phenomenal, man. You look up the highlights. Anybody that's watching us, man, if you truly value football, get on YouTube, man, and look up Leroy Kelly. I think you'll be fucking impressed just how great this guy was. Hell of a runner, man. But yeah, man, I mean, those are just a few cards in the collection, man, of guys that are just kind of a special to me because those are kind of guys that were talked about at Sunday dinner and shit like that. So
out of curiosity, is there, as you take a swig, what are you drinking, by the way, tonight, Aaron?
this is a Moscow Mule.
Ugh. Ugh. I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. Where's the copper mug though, man? Come on.
Yeah, you're right.
Krista, that's one of her favorites.
I can't stand him. Are you looking for anything specific? Since you've been to the national, yes, I understand you're going to interact with people and bro mingle. I'll say bro mingle with Xavier. Because I know that's really important to the both of you guys. Is there anything specific though that you're kind of on the hunt for that you normally maybe not be able to find elsewhere?
No, man. I mean, that's the thing. I'm really not looking for anything specific. I'm kind of like you guys, man. If something catches my eye and I can get it at a great deal. I mean, let's be real about one thing, guys. These prices are going to be marked up, man. And,
100%.
If I can find it, cheaper on eBay, why the hell wouldn't I buy it on eBay or something like that? So I'm not looking for anything, particular. Just going to go out there. If something catches my eye and I can get it at a great deal, then I'll purchase it. If not, but you guys will find me in the autograph line. I'll be getting some autograph helmets. I want to try to get John Randall.
Okay.
I want to get John Randall, man. I don't hear his name too often at the show signing. So when I heard that name, I'm like, man, I gotta get John Randall, man.
His brother sold my mom her new car back in the 90s.
That's awesome.
And for those who don't know, his brother played professionally too for Kansas City and a few other teams. But yeah, he sold my mom her new 93 Toyota Corolla.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And that was fun to sit there and be actually at the dealership. I mean, 93, I was 14? 14, I guess. 15 maybe. Graduated in 97, 18, okay, 15. No, 14. But I was at the dealership and being in his office as the sales guy, and he had all the pictures and stuff on the wall from his playing days. He had pictures of his brother John on the wall. And as they're like talking through stuff, he was just telling football stories. And I was just soaking it all in. I'm like, this is weird watching my mom buy a car from an ex-NFL player. And like, this doesn't happen all the time. So I was in awe of all the shit he had on the wall, first and foremost, but just to sit there and listen to him tell some of the football stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nice.
Dave's busting out with a Lou Brock.
Yeah, man. He's got some vintage. Nice.
Aparicio.
Yep. Oh, yeah, that's stellar, man. Oh, yeah.
There's you, Lenny. There's you, Lenny.
Nice. Oh, yeah.
Lynn Barney.
Yep. Oh, that's nice, man.
That's a nice looking.
2-color patch. That's fantastic.
Game used.
Yep.
Speaking of LT.
Oh yeah, nice.
The good old pro line autographs.
Oh yeah.
He changed the face of football, man.
You absolutely right, man. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That's Pro Bowl patch. No, it's not. I see the red. I was thinking it may be Pro Bowl patch, but it's not. 25.
Figured
Dave pulling out some of his random shit.
That's awesome, man. Very
Well,
cool.
when he said that, when you had a couple names there, the L names, I'm like, go to the L box, and because I mean, I got Fitzgerald, Allworth, Tomlinson, all that other stuff. I'm like, I haven't to think through the because I remember you commenting on the one video when I did all like the old football stuff, but that was I think through J. That was like A through J. So everything after. So I mean, that wasn't even everything. That was the worst part. Because I'm like, it's over an hour of like trying to rapid fire show stuff, get at least a little still so you see it, then boom. But I mean, that's a ton of stuff. So I mean, there's 2.5 shelves of more shit. I mean, not completely full 2-row graded, but I mean, it's stuff like again that you just don't see. Like,
Yeah, that's
a
man,
flawless Lance Allworth. Hey, find that for me, please.
that's amazing, man.
I mean, there's just stuff like that, but and I know it doesn't come off that way, but I never want it to be that way where I'm like, oh, look at this. Well, look what I got. I don't. It's this is what you do if you put the true grind in, and you're not a card collector to RBI crew guys where they're picking up stuff left and right. I mean, you're just, hey, I got this collection over here. Boom, come on, this collection. Boom, they're in that business. They'll
Right.
pick stuff they want, but I mean, this is going through the grind of shitty Facebook auctions for how many years, trying to remember the night, trying to remember, I'd take screenshots, or I'd have a notebook. I'd be like, okay, Monday night, 8 o'clock, 3 of them. Okay, and they won't list everything in one day. Like, okay, there's 10, 20 auctions. The next day, you'd list like 40. So you'd have to sit there and scroll through all this bullshit. And there's a lot of stuff in these boxes that came from there that I could tell you the price that I got them for, like that. Because I'm like, I got that for $9. A Lamar Miller National Treasures patch to 5. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm dirty as, like, he just fucking got tackled in one of those monsoons in Miami. So it's just the dolphin, half the dolphin, and then it's all green because it's grass and dirt stained. So that went to Brad. I'm like, one of his various packages of goodies. I remember coming home from my brother's in Appleton, Wisconsin, pulling over at like 7:58 in an old gas station parking lot. I'm like, I've got to bid on this. And it was a Tannehill, I think a booklet with like half the dolphin head in it. Game used. And I numbered to like 2 or 5 or 3. It was like, Brad will love this. I need to get this for him. But that's how we all think. It's not like,
right.
And I know you're in the same boat too. It's like, if you get something for X, you'll be like, man, I want to get this on the down low, and when it's Christmas time or whatever, birthday time, send it to him and fucking knock his socks off and just be like, where the fuck did you get this? Well, you didn't talk about it. Go, don't worry. You don't need to talk about everything when you get that stuff. That's how it happens. That's how it works. I mean, and that's the true meaning. It's not like you're doing it for subs or views or fucking boost your like profile in the community. It's like, I enjoy the discussions on camera, off camera, in text, whatever it is, on the phone. We grew up in a generation where you want to show appreciation. If you have the means to show appreciation to the people that are closest to you, you do so, and it's not with the expectation of getting something back. I know Steve's like, oh, I got to get you guys back. Fuck you. I don't care. It's always going to be fuck you. If I can do something for everybody, I would do that.
No, fuck you.
Shut up.
I miss that, man. You remember going back, back in the early days of YouTube, man. There was a lot of that going on. You remember
Yeah.
that, Dave? I mean, a lot of people was just sharing, man, and they didn't give a shit. You know, somebody would, make a video, man, say, I got this fucking mystery pack, It's like, I don't even know who it's from. We're going to open up and just say, hey, man, just really appreciate your channel, man. Here's a little something I thought that you would love,
Mhm.
It's like, it was great, man. It was awesome back then, man. You don't see a lot of that, unfortunately these days anymore, man. That's, back then was different thing, but I miss that, man. I miss that a lot, man. That's what it was about, coming on, man, incredibly thrilled, showing their collection. And then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, I went to the mailbox. I got something in here from Dave Midlife Car Crisis. Look at this shit. He said, hey, man, listen, I saw this card. I picked it up for you. I thought it would look awesome in your collection, man. And that kind of shit, man, it's awesome, man. It's fantastic. You can't put a price on that, man.
No. No, and that's it. I get stuff that's gone up. I get stuff it's gone up in price and all that, but I mean, there are always opportunities out there. Even if it's like, let's say there's some Lembarni, you're like, oh man, here's like a mirror gold out of certified they came out with at the back end of it or something. Or if they're using Prism, here's whatever to 50 or to 25 or the blue color match. It'd be like, fuck, I know exactly where that goes. That goes in your collection, even if it's not the vintage. It's still something you're gonna be like, hey, I can appreciate this. It's not just like, well, here's a fucking Scott Mitchell and maybe there's a Brett Perriman. I heard you like Len Barmy. He played for the Lions. Here you go. It's like, well, that's great, but I mean, you're missing the point.
Right.
Not like I'm going to send Vinny a Mark Rickey or Recchi card. He doesn't talk about him much. Well, he played for the Penguins. You like him. Well, I'm going to try to focus around the people that he's talked about. It's not like, oh, well, I want you know what I want? I want those Lemieux patches to 5. That would be great. I just can't afford them, though. I mean, if somebody would get them for me, that'd be great. No, it's not that. It's like, we look for stuff that, and it's not, we've talked about this before. It's like, we don't do this, as I just said, for acknowledgement. This isn't Roman Reigns out here, and you acknowledge us. This is when you actually forge a friendship. This is when you forge a bond. And you're there for that person, not just because of cards. It's the rainbow. You're there for everything. They're having a shitty day. They're having a shitty time in life. They're having a great time in life. You're listening, no matter what. You're not there just when the fucking ups are up. You're there when the downs are the lowest for the downs. So that's when you do something for them. It's like, I don't necessarily need to, but if that brightens their day and sort of puts them on a more even keel path for a little bit, they can at least go back and look at that. Like, hey, there's people out there that care about me. And I'm not a psychologist or any of that bullshit, because I know I deal with the fucking darkest of days too, but it's that where it's like, okay, you know somebody's out there. Even if you ever met them. It's like, people know the fucking grind. They know what you're dealing with. Maybe not a step by step, but it's like, okay, I've walked in 5 of those 20 steps. I know those 5 suck. So if I can get you at some point in time, boom, that's gonna fucking brighten your day. No, that's why it was always called the just because package. Just because I'm thinking of you. Not fucking when you get a chance, come back my way. It's like, no, I never, I've said this from day one. And I will say it till I fucking die. I don't want shit in return. I don't expect shit. I never want somebody to go out and look for something for me. I know these guys will. That's fine. I tell them
Too bad. Shut up.
Sit on a cactus and spin, motherfucker. So it's stuff that, like, we've said it all. Giving and seeing that reaction. That's perfect. I do a fucking thing else.
Yep.
If I can fucking literally give you a heart attack and there's something behind it, and you're like, I didn't expect the one before it, and then Vinny drops the Peyton Manning auto on you. Good. That's what you fucking get, dipshit. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Hmm.
Woo!
Yeah, well, double fuck you, Dave, and and triple fuck to Vinny because
Yeah.
So it's you never want to see people in the community think that that's the way to do things. Though it's like, hey, can I get prestige by sending X and Y? You see it with like that. What is that? Packer fan 87. You see these like fan mail days,
Mhm.
fucking jabs, all this bullshit.
Mhm.
I don't want fucking people to spend their money on something for me when they can build their own collection.
Yeah.
If you see something at a card show and you're like, hey man, I'll integrate this in a trade, maybe it's a low end, whatever, I'm fine with that. I still don't want it. I still want nothing to do with it. I'd rather have you text me and say, hey, Josh Johnson, like 101's here. Send me over PayPal. Like, give me a price. Paul, PDAZ10 or PDAZ1010 or whatever it is, did that year and a half, couple years ago with an exquisite Johnson Verlander. I mean, I've got 8 of them, 9 of them, but he said, hey, price is 60. What would you go on? I said 40. Got the dealer down to 40 and sent him the money. Boom, done. That's what I will do that every time at a show. You're looking out and you see something. Boom, I'm with that. You're sitting there, and if you trade something you have that's big for something big that I could use, don't contact me and I'll figure out a way to get the money. Give me the dealer's number, email, whatever it is. Fuck you, Vinny. Give me. I see shaking of head. I do not enjoy that. It's about that gabagool.
Yeah. I'm with you, Dave, man. You know, my thing is always if I got, especially with you know my boys, man. If I got it, you want it, it's yours, man. I mean, Xavier, you guys can. Xavier's a perfect example, man. Xavier was wanting the 53 Satchel Paige. That's
Mhm.
like a card, and you know, I had it, right? So I'm like, you know what, man? I'm gonna bless Xavier with this card, man. You know, this is his dream card, you know. How can I not? You know what I'm saying, man? This is my boy, man. So I sent him out this big box, man. We just loaded
I
up.
watched it.
Yep.
I watched it. I watched it.
And you know, just the look on his face, man, that just gave me so much joy, man. And he opened it, you know, and saw that, and then saw the page. That was kind of like the cherry on top for me, man. You know, that I could, you know, bless him with his dream card, man. You know, Nate, same thing, man. If I got it, you know, if I got it, you guys are looking for it, you know, kind of like you say, Dave, fuck you, I'm sending it. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it out to you guys, man. You know, and that gives me joy. So I've always been that way throughout the years. Just send people shit, and you know, look, if you love it, then you know, it's fantastic. So yeah.
Well, and the thing also that we always talk about, it's not. I'll let you jump in here in a second, Vinny. I'm sorry, I didn't. I realized that you had unmuted yourself. I'll keep this short because I'll give you an opportunity to go back and answer Aaron's questions from earlier too. Uh, it's not about the value. It's not about the cost. It's not about the expense. You know, it can be, and this is what I've always tried to express. If for any reason you choose to send somebody something out of the kindness of your heart because that's what you want to do, it is not about how much you spent or how much a card is worth. It's the thought that counts.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be the only thing that matters. The fact that you thought of somebody, that should be sufficient. If anybody takes that out of context and it's like they're almost insulted that they only sent you base cards, then fucking get the hell out of the space. Get the fuck out of here. Because we don't want people like you.
No.
We don't want you. I would rather somebody, if that's what they wanted to do, if base cards is all that they wanted to send and that's all they could send, I would be just as ecstatic to receive that than I would an autograph card.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. Because they thought of you, they took the time to send it to you. That to me means more than anything.
Mhm.
Period. It has never been about the value, how much a card is worth. It's irrelevant because when you add sentimental value
Yeah.
to a gift, that's priceless.
Mm-hmm.
You can't put a price on that.
Yeah.
Like my Christmas package to Vinny last year, no, the year before, was all sentimental based. All sentimental based. And each little thing had its own separate note, so he knew what it meant. And we've talked about it, he and I. It's like that shit right there means more to me than a $500 Lemieux autograph that you could have sent me. Because we're like family, the sentimental aspect, the memories, sharing the memories with him being able to relive some of those same memories through his childhood. Not the same thing per se, but the same nostalgia of the memories of doing certain things. And it's like you can't go wrong with that, man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
Agree.
Because people who appreciate that level of sentiment in their thought process of coming up with something to send to somebody, they know and they feel it, and you can see it in their face, in their reactions, and there's nothing better than that, man. Nothing.
Agree.
Nothing. So, Vinny, grace us with your words, my friend, or I should say, at door, since I changed your name again.
It's appropriate. That's why the Christmas episode is most important. I've watched our Christmas episodes. Thank you, Dryden. A couple hundred times. I literally will put them on while I'm working and watch them because it's become a family thing. The first year, my grandma died. What? A week before the show that I first came on. And I sent those packages out to you. That helped me heal. You know, that was part of it. That year was, you said you needed a Mahomes rookie. It wasn't the greatest one, but it's one that I pack pulled with my kid, you know, so it's there. And then I thought I'd landed that card for Dave with Josh Johnson and that other pitcher. I could have swore it was it, but he probably had 72 copies of it. But it was only numbered to like 25. So I thought I nailed a big one for him. Then the next year, we started it again, and it was like, and then this last year, there it is. Yeah. It's like
Still got it. Still got it. Still got it.
It's fantastic.
It's my wife looking for a helmet for Dave online to find for Dave that's autographed by Martin Brodeur. That's a connection to Dave from my daughters and my wife and my 3 mascot dogs of the show. To, you know, we'll always remember Ghost barking, God rest his soul, and it's like that'll always be there. And then, you know, the card she won for you on she was in Chick-fil-A. I'll never forget. We were in the line for Chick-fil-A, getting dinner after soccer, and she hit that card was TD and somebody, or was it just TD? TD and Brady.
Yep, the patch.
It was you know, I'll always remember that stuff. That's the kind of stuff. We're creating our own nostalgia. We're writing the pages of the IRP book and all the people in it. That's what I like. We're writing history with this, and hopefully, if YouTube never goes away, it's always there.
Yep.
So 25, 30, 40 years from now, my kid can sit down and look at this, and they can all go, my grandkids, my 3 daughters, my soon to be 2 grandchildren, they're going to sit down and they're going to be like, wow, that's a bunch of useless stuff, but look at him. He's just sitting there with his friends, BSing, having the greatest time in the world. And it's caught on film forever in YouTube annals of time. But looking for people is the best thing. Like the last 2 months, I slowed down because I'm trying to save for the national. And then every Lemieux card under the sun in the last 2 months has gone to Greg Morris or Savage Card Auctions. So, like, I've had 9 rounds of Lemieux cards, like stuff I want and need, come out. And I either get blasted or I pick up a couple. But, you know, trying to save for the national, knowing that I'm a hockey guy, I'm not going to see a ton. There's some baseball card stuff I want, occasional football card. I might even get a Larry Bird card every once in a while or a Shaq. You know, those are the guys I watched growing up, and those were my 2 favorite. My brother liked, can't think of his name, with the Rec Specs, played for Horace Grant. I want to get my brother a Horace Grant card because I know he'd enjoy it. You know, maybe some Nolan Ryan stuff.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how we got so close with me being a football guy and you being hockey. I still don't.
I just showed up. I just saw Dave one night, and that was that. It was
he showed up and we could never get rid of him.
Yeah, I'm like a stray dog. You fed me. Now you're host.
That's
My
awesome.
wife's been trying to get rid of me for 13 years.
We love you, Vinny. You know, we know. You know,
as she said, I can get rid of you. See, this is when you marry a Sicilian.
Just remember, Meredith, I'll be there in less than 2 weeks. Sleep with one eye open.
You're in here tonight, so she can't hear
you. I know she can't. That's why I said it, even though I said it to her face the other day.
Yeah, true.
She loves me because I give her shit.
But who lets, like my mom, and we've had this conversation before. You're going to let a man you never met from Texas sleep in your house? Yeah. Why? Because he's my friend. He's like my brother. You trust him? I'm like, yeah.
With my life, in my daughter's life, in my wife's life.
Yeah.
But hold that thought just real quick. Because I didn't
your
want.
Wife gives you the evil eye over your shoulder. Look at that.
That's fine. I don't want to keep this next gentleman waiting too long. Give me a thumbs up if you're ready, sir. There's the thumbs up. Making a return to the show. Hopefully we get the other part of this. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out here in a minute. I'd like to welcome back our good friend, Crew 7.
How we doing, guys?
What's going on, Neil?
What's up, Neil?
Not much. Glad you guys invited me back.
Well, it's national talk. We wouldn't have it any other way.
That time of year.
Hopefully. The only difference is you're going to get to see us this year.
Oh,
That's
boy.
the difference.
Oh,
That's
man.
the difference. That's the difference.
That's good to hear.
Dave, me, and Vinny will be attending the show this year.
The trio. I like it.
So looking forward to. Nice thing about it is Wednesday kind of gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to at least see you guys a little bit more, I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hopefully Ryan can join us here a little bit because I would like to fill in him as well because I'm guessing Dave hasn't spilled the beans and let the two of you guys know that we will be attending.
I knew somebody was going to be there. I didn't know all three. That's awesome to hear.
Yep. And I listened to Kicking It With the Crew today.
There we go.
So I would like to say a big shout out to you guys. Thanks for letting your following know that you would be joining us this evening.
Absolutely.
It's always good to have you on, Neil.
Thank you.
Wish we could actually chat with you guys more often because this nothing against Aaron. Ryan and Neil is like way back, the way back machine.
Yeah,
So,
we've been around for a little bit.
Nice.
I'll say it. Neil, this is Aaron. Yeah. Aaron, Neil. Neil is one half owner of RBI Crew 7 Sports out of St. Peters, Missouri, just west of St. Louis.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, brother.
They've been around on YouTube before we were.
Yep.
That's where we met Ryan and his pedaling out of the garage and
the
little house there with Colt running around and barking like ghost would and
that hasn't changed.
Yep, the dorm room, custom brakes and peddling retail packs for $1.
Mm-hmm.
The custom brakes, the group brakes,
the priority box where he's shaking it over his head.
Yep. Oh, the fun memories. The fond memories.
That feels like ages ago.
It was. If you think about it, it was though.
Yeah.
13 years.
13, yeah, I was going to say 13, 14 years, give or take. I mean, that's quite a while if you think
about it. It is. Things have changed.
You got married. You have a kid. Ryan's been married. He's got 3 kids, right?
3. Yes, that's who he's dealing with right now. He's dealing with the kiddos.
Yeah.
So and we understand the priorities because you guys put in a shit ton of hours, and I can't say this enough. It's always nice to have you guys on. We would love to have you more frequently. We really would, but we get it. You need your downtime. You need to spend time with the family and the kids. And trust us, we all get it. We're all married. Well, not married anymore, but we've got kids. So we get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it does. Like, I start every day, 7:30 a.m., working at the shop, getting everything ready. And then there till 6 most days. So it's nonstop. And Ryan, he can't shut it off. So.
Well, that's how he's always been.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
It doesn't matter. So national. So Aaron, just for context, so RBI Crew 7 will be set up at the show again for is this like the 10th or 12th year?
12.
This is 11.
Because 2011 was your first.
Yeah. So okay. 12.
Well, 12 years. 11 because no COVID year.
Right. True. Yeah. But I mean, always setting up. Started off with dime boxes.
Oh, I remember that. I loved watching. And I hate doing it. You know this. I had to watch one of my favorite people had he's doing his little card store tour.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Ryan wasn't there, and you were there. And I'm like, I told Naomi, I said, hey, because she's a big fan of this person. I said, I will be in this video. If he shows the first dollar that they made, I will be there because they've got the picture of the National when they first set up.
Yep.
And as sure as shit, I'm like, there I am. And it's like,
there it is.
And she's like, what? Rewound it, paused, and I said, and she's like, oh my God. I said, there you are. I said, I'm not gonna lead you astray with this shit. I'm telling you, throwing up the websites and half these people I'm trying to remember and his picture's so close and it's grainy. I'm like, there's Maya because she used to collect the Cardinals.
Yep.
There's so many of us because that was at the time that was the YouTube table.
Yep. Yeah. We were the place to meet.
I know it still is in a lot of respects, but at that time it was like go to RBI Crew. We know where that's at. That's where the YouTubers are going to be. If you're downtime and we just want to BS, go there. Now you can't do that because you guys are fucking like the the Nolan Ryan or the Randy Johnson type upper deck those first couple of years. You got like the three motions because you guys are in like two spots at once and trying to do whatever. And that's, I know why when we've talked about it prior to this, like if we see you guys, I don't even want to say we want 5 minutes. I just want to make sure we get a picture together.
Absolutely.
And we'll be on our way because we know this is your time to make the biggest amount of hay in the year.
Absolutely, but we still want to see you guys, of course.
Oh, yeah, I know, but we also know the aspect of like we're not going to be like, well, hey, how's your golf game going? No, I'll text you with that shit. I mean, I want the pictures. That's the stuff, the memories. I've told people, I've told everyone, I'm going to ask for pictures. That's I can remember that.
We'll make that happen.
I think it's going to be a lot of information overload.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try to retain some of this without losing. Oh, what was that 98 insert or Donruss? I can't remember. It's 3 colors. Was that longevity? What was that?
Yeah, we'll make it happen. No doubt about that.
Because I know you guys are just. I know you've got your team.
Yep.
I know you're busy as fuck because any video you've seen documenting the National, when they go past your table, that's always one of the ones, like what Evolution Sports Marketing used to be when you guys first set up. You had people everywhere there. That's where you guys are at tenfold from that. Because, I mean, they know they're going to find the variety of new, vintage. They're going to find the 90s stuff. They're going to find numbered stuff in the 2000s. And it's not just going to be the big stars. If you start digging through your boxes that you bring, you're going to find gems in there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, like this year, we won't have any like bargain boxes to dig through. We'll have cases upon cases upon cases.
And you graduated from that. It's like, you guys it was like 1.5 tables full of boxes, value boxes. And now we just don't have the room for those because our inventory is so stacked with banger after banger. So something's got to give.
Well, as a wrestling guy, you'll appreciate our tables this year. There's a lot of wrestling.
I don't want to see Randy Orton.
Oh, no, there's not much of him. Ryan's keeping all that. There's plenty of others, dude. He should go and cleaning it up today, and I'm like, wow, you got some stuff. That's insane.
So I got to ask, because, when we had you on last year at this time, you had mentioned, or I should say Ryan, and I think you kind of added to it, your showcases are going to be, your showcases going to be like $100 and up like they were last year?
We're going to try to keep it around that, but we will have some under $100 stuff just because we're not setting up with anybody this year. So we're going to have to have all the cases full of our stuff. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, it's crunch time. It's getting scary.
Yes.
Well, like I said, I listened to the show, and I know Ryan was stressing, talking about all the pricing that needed to be done, and John coming in next week.
Yep, Monday.
Working on price and stuff, and you guys did it last year, and I want to say you guys have done it for the last few years. That a lot of the stuff that ends up in y'all showcases at National, most people haven't seen unless you're part of the RBI Crew family. Most of the stuff you don't see.
Honestly, there's a lot of stuff that only Ryan and I have seen, so it might be even a surprise to some of our crew. So, like he goes crazy on like come see and stuff like that. I was cleaning a lot of it up today, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot you got this. You got this. When did you pick this up? It'll be crazy, no doubt.
So, Aaron, just for context, make sure you at least make it to their table. Because, like Dave said, most of your YouTubers at some point will make their way to their table. Like, our era of tubers will make their way to their table.
Yes.
I was going to tell you, and it was like that in 2017. I actually bought something from your table.
Really?
Yeah, I did, man. 2017.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. I bought. I think it was a card out of museum. It was a Eddie Murray little bat card that was numbered
Sure.
out of 5. Back
Nice.
2017. So yeah, I know it was a lot of YouTubers was around that table then, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be that way again this year. And I'll tell you what, our sign, you guys are not gonna miss it. It's huge.
That's fantastic.
So Neil, Vinny wanted to ask, any hockey singles? Any chance you guys are bringing any wax?
We won't have wax. We won't have room for that, but we will have some hockey singles for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Vinny's the big hockey guy, and it's one of those in which he has a lot of doubts as it pertains to the amount of potential hockey available at the National.
Yeah.
But being the National with the adding of the 100,000 square feet or whatever that they did for this show,
Yeah.
I could see it bringing in some additional dealers, maybe that wouldn't have set up before, and maybe you'll find some more hockey.
I mean, the National is a place to find a lot of stuff because just so many people are there. So, and I mean, Tyson will be there, so we have to have some kind of hockey.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, we actually will have a videographer this year, which is crazy, aka Tyson. He's going to be getting some content for the YouTube channel.
Really, Neil? Did you just say the word content? Really?
I did.
You know we hate that word.
I'm sorry. All right, some video.
Let's face it, Neil. You guys actually kind of hate that word too, because you're old school like the rest of us. It's video. It's video.
It's just got ingrained in the head nowadays because we're always having to post, so we always have to have content.
You have to have the up-to-date nomenclature.
There you go.
Neil,
Exactly.
I got a question for you, Neil. You guys ever get like bat knobs and bat barrels, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Some, yes. I haven't seen the baseball that we're taking this year, so I can't say off the top of my head if we have any of those coming with us. But Ryan's got high-end taste, so we'll have high-end stuff.
Nice.
Well, so to give you an idea, Aaron, if you didn't know, Ryan's main PC guy is LeBron.
Okay.
If that tells you anything. Now, before, and he still has it, and I know he does, but Randy Moss.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's when you put that into context and you think about it, LeBron James, from a basketball perspective, outside of Jordan, is pretty much the top selling guy.
Yep.
Randy Moss isn't the top selling guy per se, but he's still one of those that can bring a premium when it comes to acquiring cards. And of course, he's got his Giannis collection.
Yep.
And others.
I mean, he's got Kenny Lofted too, so.
Which, that goes back to the original days, the origin days. But I mean, that kind of gives you an idea of, it's like, those are his personal collections. So you can only imagine some of the stuff that they have a tendency to come across.
Like I said, I just saw the wrestling today, and wow, that's all I can say about that. It's like got some crazy stuff.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll definitely
I'm sure
table, man.
I would appreciate it. We'll be there. Make sure you say hi.
We'll do.
So yeah, it's Wednesday. I mean, we may peruse by again at some point during the show, but Wednesday for sure.
Yep.
Only because I know it'll still be busy.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be day one show busy.
Right.
Like Thursday will be.
Mm-hmm.
And like Dave said, as long as we get a few minutes and I get a handshake and a bro hug and some.
I would say you're getting a hug. You're getting more than a handshake. Come on.
and pictures. You know what? It's like that we've been talking about it for a month now. I told Aaron earlier, it's like I'm not setting expectations because I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah.
I really don't give two shits about the show. And I mean that. I really don't. It's about finally getting an opportunity to meet people for the first time or see people that I haven't seen in 10 plus years.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about National is getting to see everybody.
The last time we saw that you and I saw each other was at the Houston TriStar show.
Ah, yes.
Over 10 years ago, and I gave you the Pujols.
Pujols, yep.
But that's the last time that we've seen each other.
That's crazy.
And that was the first time that we actually physically met, too.
Right.
And that includes Ryan. The first time I met Scott, Steve Camarillo was there.
Yep.
My adept came down from freaking Chicago and didn't even know he was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
I still have this. That's the calendar that Ryan bought me that was the wrong year that I had that I had everybody sign.
Yeah.
And
oh
it's
boy.
still sitting there. And it's still sitting there.
That's
and
awesome.
Then we went out to eat, and I don't even remember where the hell we went, and it's like that didn't even fucking matter. I don't know what I ate. I don't know how much I had to drink. I don't care. We were there hanging out, shooting the shit, and it wasn't all about cards. And that's that's the shit that really is what this is about.
Oh yeah, it's about the relationships.
Us building that relationship hasn't changed with your growing of the business.
Yeah.
Yes, I talk and text with Ryan more than I do you, but I've never had your information either.
Well, we might have to change that.
We need to fix that at National.
Yeah.
Yes.
We need to fix that at National.
Sounds good to me, man.
But it just I am still flabbergasted from how you guys started. And this is a testament to both of you. Y'all had a dream, y'all found a way, you took baby steps, and you have just, with the business model, the team that you have in place, the setup of the shop and the interactions and the stuff that you do for the kids and the environment that you guys create is fucking amazing. And
thank you. We appreciate that.
I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, Neil. You know this. Yeah. This is coming from the heart because we are friends.
Yeah.
We are friends. And like other shops out there should learn from you guys. Seriously.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I mean, I just look at it as how would we want to be treated if we went to a card shop?
Yep.
I mean, that's the best way to look at it. I mean, Eli, as I said in the video that we did with those who shall not be named, according to Dave, I still feel as we're a mom and pop shop. I mean, yeah, we're definitely bigger without a doubt, but it doesn't feel like it. I still have my best friend sitting right behind me in our office. I go to work every day, do the same stuff. It doesn't feel like we've changed at all.
Mm.
Well, other than the fact, do not take this the wrong way, Neil, please.
No.
Your time is more precious, so you don't have as much opportunity to kill 30 minutes or an hour on a phone conversation like shit was like it was in the past.
Yeah.
And trust me, I get it. We all get it. We all understand. You have a business to run.
Yeah.
If you had your way, there would be more time in a day to where it would give you an opportunity to be able to spend more time and catch
100%.
up with people.
Absolutely.
Which is why having you guys on the show gives us kind of that little bit more time to interact.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about national. Yes, we're talking about what your plans are and things along those lines. But it also gives us a chance just to fucking catch up. I mean, let's
Yeah,
face it.
absolutely. Yeah, we just had to make sure the kid was put to bed and I got my workout in. So we're good.
Well, I hope Ryan finds an opportunity to jump on, even if it's for a few minutes.
I mean, he told me
Ryan-
earlier today he was going to.
Ryan, if you're listening, just a few minutes, just so I can see your face and like punch it through the freaking, you know, because I
Yeah.
want you to hear it from us that, you know, knowing, having you guys on last year, having you guys on again, you only knowing part of it. And now you knowing that the three of us, granted, you only met Vinny last year, but you've
Yeah.
known Dave for forever, it seems,
Yeah.
that we're going to be there.
I'm excited now.
We're going to be there.
That's what I want to hear, man. Yeah, it's going to be a blast. Main thing I look forward to every year is getting to see everybody. I only get to see once a year nowadays because we don't really do as many shows. So
Right. The only thing that would have been better is if we could have found a time to squeeze a scheduled dinner. But we already heard the schedule for dinner.
it's okay.
I did. I like I said, I listened to the show. I
Yeah.
listened to the show. I don't
It's-
listen to it all the time, but I try to catch episodes from time to time
Sure.
because it is nice to kind of see what's going on with you guys and everything else because we don't get a chance to talk that much.
Right.
But yeah, when he was talking about the schedule, I'm like, yeah, we have the scheduled dinner for this. We got the panini thing this day. We got the dinner for this. And I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's the main thing that's changed. We used to be able to go out and hang out afterwards. Now we've got distributor dinners, like panini dinners, stuff like that. And it's just go, go, go as soon as the thing ends. We go home, we go back to the room, we get the shower, then we're right back out the door.
You ain't got no time for us peons no more, Neil.
Yeah.
I
say
would
it,
go
man.
that far. Come on.
Just say it. Come on.
No, I mean, like, I don't think there's a dinner on Wednesday that I don't think I'm going to. So maybe we catch up on that.
As long as we're not going to like Ruth Chris Steakhouse or something where it's like, hey, I might rather put that money for that steak to a card. I mean,
Yeah, I
it'll
got
be
Gibson's and Morton's later in the week.
there exactly. So I mean,
No,
you
see,
guys
what
are
we
going
could-
to McDonald's and talking distribution plans, or you're going to the extend my pinky here and we're going to-
Exactly. We fancy.
we could always go somewhere and talk quote unquote business, and Ryan could, you know,
Write it off.
exactly.
Ryan or Neil could write it off as an expense. I mean, come
There
on.
you go.
We're all card collectors. Hey, I've got cards that I'd like to sell. Does that,
There you
does
go.
that count?
Yeah, sure.
I don't have them with me, but I mean, you know, we could talk stuff. We could talk
There's
shop.
potential deals to be made.
We could talk shop, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'd rather not. I'd rather just catch up with y'all, but
100%. You know I'm razzing you a little bit.
yeah, of course.
So Dave, I'm sure you had some questions for Neil. Aaron, you may have some additional questions. If you have some, of course, jump in here. Just
Well, for both of you guys, since our last like 9 episodes have been about food, what are you looking forward to most, if not flying there, if you've been there before? And again, I know you have, Neil.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm guessing that might have been the one you went to in 2017. I don't know yeah, that'd be every other year Chicago. So yeah. Is there somewhere you're looking to like go again? Maybe try new? Remember, and I don't know, either of you've listened previous week or two, there is a food truck festival on the
Ooh.
South Loop. So it's about an hour away. It's food trucks. So I mean that right there, and you're talking Chicago, this isn't gonna be like podunk fucking Montana where you might have like a grilled raccoon or something. I'm guessing this shit's gonna be like top of the line. And if it's a festival, you're not getting in by like, oh, I'll give you a 20 to get in. No, there's going to have to be some credentials and some
Yeah.
secondary opinions to get yourself in. So, is there anything you're looking forward to food wise? Because I know that's one of our main keys of going there is getting good grub.
You want me to answer? Go ahead first.
You go first.
All right. Well, I've kind of changed the way I've eaten because I was like 300 plus pounds when my son was born. So now I've kind of changed my diet. So I don't get to eat like Giordano's and stuff like that much anymore. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to like, there's a Maria's Mexican place that we always love to go to. Very good margaritas. But it's either like steak and veggies is usually what I get to have nowadays. Yeah, I know. It's not as fun as it used to be.
Boring.
I got to be around for the little guy for a little bit longer.
Hey, priorities. We get it. Priorities. Understood.
But yeah, like I've changed a lot how I've eaten, so I can't gorge myself anymore.
Well, I wish I could say the same, Neil, but I mean, we're going to try to do some. There's some couple of steakhouses out there that my partner mentioned, Xavier. So we're going to try to hit up a couple of steakhouses, and definitely you got to do Chicago pizza, man. So we'll be hitting that up, and then a few other places, some breakfast spots that he mentioned too, man. So, man, we're going to be just eating all damn day. So
that's pretty much what we've been saying too.
Yeah, I said that last week. I said I'd love to find like an old school diner, mom and pop breakfast place that had like biscuits and gravy, stuff like. I'm not a waffle pancake person. Again, my physique says otherwise. But biscuits and gravy, you get me a good biscuits and gravy. Oh God, that's old. So yeah, but again, we're further out than everyone else, but again, that was due to price.
Yeah.
Very, very nice price on that for the days that were there, and the minimum amount only one of us had to pay. It was so meager. So I mean, that'll possibly cut into some stuff, but at the same time, that's fine.
Yes, I'll go ahead and say it. 2 rooms our entire stay, and we lost Vinny. $120.
Damn.
I got the hookup.
There you go.
Nice.
And the rooms, each room is 1,100 square feet.
Oh dang! You ain't messing around.
Full kitchen.
Man.
Yeah. I have friends. I have really good friends. Actually,
that's always good to have.
It's our neighbors. They have a timeshare through.
Oh shit.
Shit. Fuck. I'll think of it at some point.
But
do what, Dave?
The place we're staying at?
I wasn't talking about the name of the place. I was talking about through the chain, the hotel chain.
Okay.
But they've had a timeshare forever, and they can't ever use it all the time. As far as, and they do it via points, so they can't ever use all their points.
Oh, nice.
So, and they don't charge us anything extra to use their timeshare.
That's awesome.
So it's like they'll schedule the time, and then all we do is pay for the room.
Wow. There you go.
And Ryan is, so Vinny's back. Give me a thumbs up.
Told you he'd make it. Oh, look at that guy.
I'm here.
He made it.
I made it.
I told you he would.
Right in the time frame he had said, so he's kosher.
You need to get headsets? I can go get them.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Orlando, we'll get to your question, I promise. So before we get too far in the conversation, Neil has already heard the news. So this year at National, Dave, Vinny, and myself will all be there at National.
Oh, well, I'll be damned.
So Wednesday, be ready for some handshakes, some bro hugs, and some pictures.
I'm in. To that, I'll cheers you, my friend. I know you got a beer in hand. There you go.
Cheers.
Did you say you're going fishing there?
I didn't. I said nothing about going fishing.
Oh, that's
I'll cheers with water.
I
You're
just
gonna
said
need
we'll
that
be
after
there.
talking to
Oh,
Denzel
I
today,
said, my
man.
husband's gonna go fishing. What?
Oh, did we lose Aaron? Aaron dropped. Uh-oh.
He
So-
bounced. He's out.
So now that we got Ryan here, Orlando, I'll pose the question to both of them, and we'll see which one wants to respond.
Well, I mean,
So-
you know who that's going to be.
As a dealer, do you prefer good selling days or great buying days at the National?
I'm assuming you want me to take that answer, Neil.
You figured you would.
I mean, I prefer personally. We're at the National to sell. That's our goal, is to go there and sell. Do we? Are we going to buy? Of course, we love good buys, but we bought so much prepping for the past 6 months, if not year, for the National that we're there. Like we're putting in. I started pricing Monday officially this past week, and I'm not working nonstop up until we leave at the National on Monday, 2 days before it starts. If not, pricing up to it. So, to answer your question, it's sell, sell, sell. We want great selling days. We have goals to hit, and in order to do that, we want to sell. But again, we can continue to buy and flip as long as I'm able to process. But it's harder once you're there going. It's just too busy.
You'll have a line of people trying to sell to you. You know it.
I know, but I got John there now, which is going to help. John can take some of that for me.
And for those who are curious, so John, aka the Sheriff, also known as IUND.
No, not
2009. It
No.
used to be.
No, that's John.
No.
That's two different Johns.
That's John
Different
Summers.
John.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
So
My bad. I get the fucking names confused anyways because you have AKAs for everybody, right?
First off, how's
Be
everybody
cons-
doing? How's everybody doing? How's everybody
Be
been?
consistent, damn it. We're all good. We're all fantastic.
Good.
Tired.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to get on so late. I got 3 kids that
You got priors, dog.
You're good. We understand. Neil gave us the rundown, but
I talked all kinds of crap on you, dude.
I know.
You know it.
I deserve it.
no,
It's
he
okay.
didn't. He's lying. He's fucking lying.
I would never. Come on.
I got your back on that one, Ryan. Normally I take Neil's side,
Appreciate it,
but
Steve.
I got your back on that one.
So are you there? Are you both? Are all 3 of you guys all there all 5 days?
Yep, Wednesday through. We probably won't go to the. I'm speaking an assumption, but so to give you I actually fly into Michigan, which is where Vinny lives. So
Okay.
I fly into Michigan on Tuesday, and we drive to the show
Ah.
on Wednesday. And then we're there Wednesday through Sunday, but it's one of those in which I don't know for sure if we're planning on going to the show on Wednesday or on Sunday or not,
Sunday.
because we drive back on Sunday because then I fly out to come home on Monday.
Okay. Good though. That's awesome, man. At least get to spend some time with you.
So yeah, and that's why I'm glad about Wednesday, because being that it's early preview VIPs type stuff, it won't be as busy. So I feel like we at least will have a little bit more of an opportunity to kind of commingle for a little bit compared to the rest of the show. So
Absolutely.
I think that's literally when we all get there on Wednesday, I think that's like we're beelining it to you guys, I think.
We'll be there. Sorry, I'm trying to wake up here. I just kind of got run down with the kids. I'm trying to get fired up here. Wake up.
I was saying, you take a nap?
We had the whites out watching the show and the kids, and I started that process a little earlier so I can make it. My goal is to get here by 9:15, and I think I got here right at 9:15. I was having a little malfunction on my end, but I think it worked out. So I got here as fast as I could.
You did talk to Denzel today, so.
Yes, I did. So yeah.
All good, Ryan. All good. Hey, we all get it. Like I told Neil, hey, we all have significant others. We all
Yes.
have kids.
Yeah.
The only difference is, so mine are the oldest, which
Yeah.
is crazy to think, and I only have one at home. I mean, my youngest is 16, the oldest is 21. So just wait, Vinny. I know yours are older than mine, but it's I for whatever reason, it's like I forget about them. 20, what is it? 20, well, shit. 20, they're both 20 something.
No,
one's late 20.
Shelby's 30.
Jesus Christ. Seriously?
Shelby's 30. She'll be 31 here in September. Hale's 20.
27?
Wait a minute. Let me do math. 27 and C's 11. She'll be 12.
See, I was right with the 27 at least.
Yeah, you got Haley right.
I guess I didn't realize they were 4 years apart. That was the reason why I couldn't math.
92 and 96.
Okay. I didn't realize they were 4 years apart. My bad. But
That makes me old.
But you're not that old. You're 78, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Dog
So
years.
you're a year older than me. So you're not that old. And you're a year older
I
than
thought
Dave.
you meant 78 years old. I know.
No, year.
That's what I thought you meant too.
I thought you
Birth
meant
year.
me too. I think we all
Birth year. Birth
Time
year.
out on the field. I was like, okay, I do
You're
feel
like, hold on.
78 most of the time.
Birth year, Vinny. Birth year.
Yeah.
Because Dave, you're 79.
Ryan's the baby.
Are you
80.
70? You're 78 too?
80.
Oh, so we got 78, 79, 80. Look at that.
81.
Oh shit.
83. I'm still in my 30s, just barely hanging on.
Not for long.
No.
Well, it'll be here before I know it.
And your birthday is when, Ryan?
November.
Okay, yeah. Well, we'll be counting that down to your 40.
I'll be joining y'all here real soon.
It's not that bad for those of us who have been in our 40s for a few years. It's not that bad.
Shoot, I feel old as hell.
Look at two, they're silver fox.
That's also because you got married later in life and had kids later in life. That's why.
Yeah, I got a 20-month old.
That's my point. That'll make anybody old at that age.
But I'm sticking with one, unlike other people who have to have three. Ryan.
Yeah, it happens.
And then what, Parker? How old's Parker now? 7, 6?
He'll be 7 in September.
Okay. So that's sport time now. What, baseball, soccer, something?
Yeah, he's playing basketball, soccer. He's about to start baseball too. So yeah.
Now your time, which is very thinned out and stretched, that is going to become absolutely like non-existent.
He's starting fall ball here real soon, and basically it's I think practice an hour and a half a week, and then they have a game, so it's gonna start consuming even more. So, yeah.
But that's the thing where you or Shannon pictures, even more pictures.
Video.
Yes.
Pictures.
Yep. Take it in. So, yeah, okay, it comes on quick.
Oh,
Booth numbers.
For us,
Yeah.
yes.
Who else?
I don't know. I didn't know. I mean, I don't know if anybody else said, we're 152 and 154. We're basically kind of in the same area. We've been in Chicago the past, I don't know, how many years, Neil?
Jeez.
I mean, Dave knows where we're at pretty well. I mean,
Yeah. Well, like I said, you're not going to miss that sign.
yeah, we bought a big, it's 20 by, was it 7?
7, I think.
20 by 20 feet long, 7 foot tall banner.
And we're putting it on tables.
We're put on tables, and then it'll stand up, and like you should be able to see us from a few different angles. So yeah, we're excited, man. It's gonna be here before you know it. It's crazy.
Less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks starts 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks
Yep.
from today.
Yep. And be, we're starting the whole process right now. We've been, like I said, just buying like crazy stuff. I mean, heck, we've been buying the shop all week. People are just walking in, just deal after deal. And I'm just, now it's a matter of, okay, I got to process it to go to the national, or this needs to go to the shop. Right now we're more of the better stuff, go to national. We're trying to have I guess the most diverse selection of anybody there, especially we're focusing a lot on wrestling and non-sports this year. Big because basically we love it. I love it. I've gotten really big into non-sports, but obviously wrestling I've been into my whole life, same as Neil. So we're going to have an insane wrestling selection that I don't think many will be able to compete with the amount of level we have. And with the non-sports, I know you're not going to see as much non-sports at a sports show, but you're seeing more and more as the time goes on. But obviously we're still going to have your typical football, baseball, basketball. We'll have some hockey, tennis, soccer. We're going to have it all. So my goal has been to just kind of buy as much as we can, and just have as much as we can and price as the best we can for it. So,
well, and I already asked Neil this earlier and wanted to see if you wanted to kind of add to it, because last year when we had you guys on, you mentioned that everything in the showcases was $100 and up.
Yeah.
And I asked if you were going to try and like maintain the same pricing structure this year. And he had mentioned that because you're bringing in some non-sport stuff, that you'll have some cards that are all around that price range, but there may be a few that are a little bit under the $100 price range.
Yeah. So basically we're going to have probably like the lowest you're going to see, maybe like $10 on a small scale. May it be like a stack of a wrestler or whatever, but most of it we're shooting for like a lot of like 50 and up. We may have some 40s and 30s. Again, those may not be featured, but they may be in the stack of that particular player or backstocked, essentially. So, this year the market shifted a lot. All that super high end stuff is crashed. It's not sustainable, and it's come back to reality. And a lot of that, well, we've noticed a lot that people are looking for more things they can afford, and things have come back to a more affordable number. I think things are kind of correcting themselves the way they should be. And we're gearing more towards everyday collectors. We want to deal towards, we might have some higher end people want some high end pieces. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have some high end, nice graded Mantles. I've got a lot of Trevor Lawrences I've been stashing. I'm going to have your Mike Trout, your Otanis, your you name it, I'm going to have that stuff. But we're trying to gear towards like, hey, do you have a Ronald Acuna Braves auto on card for $100? Sure. How many you need? We have 3 or 4 or 5. And we've noticed not only are you dealing with collectors, repackagers. There's so many repackage companies now, or breakers that are repackaging, and they're paying better than anybody in the market right now. They're paying basically 100% of what it's worth, because essentially they can call it a lot more in their breaks, but the margins with theirs is getting better than what it is with the card companies. With Fanatics taking over, I can tell you firsthand, our margins are getting worse and worse. And the only time that they're getting better is if a product performs, which, they're not. We used to be, put in this perspective, we used to have been allocated a product direct from them anywhere from 6 months to a year in advance for a product releasing. So they would lock in a price. You'd be allocated that. You pay this price. This is what you're in for. Now you're getting allocated a week before release, maybe 2 weeks tops. So they're watching the market closer to see. So I'm not trying to get on a product talk. What I'm trying to make a point here is that there's just margins are getting worse to where like, hey, they can buy singles, create their own product. Customers are more happy because they're feeling like they're not getting kicked in the you-know-what, basically in the product. They may get a, like I said, a Ronald Acuna auto. Maybe they paid $150 for the box or whatever, and they get a $120 card. You don't feel as bad as getting $30 of stuff, which is what it is. So,
well, like the old archives or something where it's like you get a Joey Cora auto to like 83. It's like, oh wow, that's like $1 card. What a treat. Where's my crown and my medal? Because I came out a winner on that.
We understand how it is. You can't make every box a winner. It's just how it is. It's just, but it's just gotten to the point where I feel like we're noticing more people want to repackage and build. And, as long as I get my numbers at the end of the day, I'm happy to make those sales. We're there to generate revenue. We're there to, break the existing 2 years. We've broken the record the past 2 years. Is it going to be more of a challenge this year? Absolutely. And that's why we're going to carry the most inventory we've ever carried outside of bargain boxes. No bargain boxes. We stopped doing that years ago. We just do them in shop. But so my goal has been, I've got to have something for everybody. I have to be prepared for this. If we're going to replicate numbers we've done in a down market, we're going to have to do it. And I'm confident we could do it. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be a struggle. So,
Well, and that's, something that I was kind of talking to Neil with earlier, that you guys have a tendency to change with the market.
Yep.
You guys continue to adapt and overcome regardless of the market. And that's because as I said, this is an attribute of you guys and the staff that you have. You have enough hobby experience within the two of you and your team that you have opportunities to stay on top of shit. Looking at trends, looking at this, looking at that, and just being able to bring it all together to shift your business at a moment's notice.
Yep.
To, of course, continue to maintain revenue streams. And that, like I said, that is a sentiment to you guys in the business model that you run. And when I told Neil that, card shops need to mirror y'all's business model. You guys have succeeded in good times and in bad. You started from the grassroots. And we were talking about this earlier, from your dorm room, from your grandmother's garage, all of that stuff, starting with this big dream that you started from like nothing to where you guys are now. And you guys are extremely successful, but it's because you still have the collector heart. So you know what it's like for us collectors. Granted, at the end of the day, you have to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to sell yourself short, but at the same time, you still think like a collector, but you've been able to separate it, but using that collector mindset to still continue to build the business.
Yeah. I appreciate the kind words and all that. And, I've always told Neil, like, I'd rather take less money on an item to a collector, knowing it's going to the right home and needs to belong, than to make an extra little more percent. I've always been that way. And we're always, kids come in, we give them free stuff, or like give a kid a hell of a deal on something. We don't care. It's the hobbies first. And yes, you're right. I'm in this to make a living, to provide for all the staff that I have now that we continue to grow. We just hired another full-time employee. We've known since he was truly a kid. It's crazy to think how much Nathan's grown.
Yeah.
But it's a blessing to be able to do this day in and day out with the team and family we have amongst us. Not to mention, I have my family to provide for. Neil has his. At the end of the day, you're right. We have to make money, but to continuously grow and adapt. But the biggest thing that I learned was, in all my years growing up, and it was never easy. It was always a grind. There were so many bad years before they got good, before they got great, before they got amazing, before they adjusted a little bit. I've adapted. It's been a roller coaster. But yes, did it go up here? Could it continuously go? Yes. But we've always been able to adapt, and that's because when I was in minor league baseball, working as an intern, the actual GM of the team got to get real close to a great guy, and we sat down, and he is in his mid to late 50s, and he has got this phone, and he is like making me look like I don't know what I'm doing on a phone. And I'm like, dude, for your age, like, that's pretty incredible that you know all this stuff. He goes, Ryan, I hate it. And I said, you hate it? He goes, I hate this with a passion. Now, this is back in 2009. Think of technology from 2009 to now. And he goes, one thing I'm going to tell you in life is you always have to adapt. No matter if you like it or not, you're going to have to adapt or you're going to die. And that's a common thing we hear. But for somebody of his caliber to take an intern under his wing, and he's the GM of the Memphis Redbirds, and took a liking to me, and we became friends, for him to just be honest with me and just kind of give me advice along the way, that was something that stuck in my head. And that was the worst 3 months of my life, but the best 3 months of my life, because being there in that industry, per se, I wanted to be in sports, made me realize It was awful. I paid nothing. It was long hours, and I was miserable. And I said, I left there and I said, I never work for anybody the rest of my life. From that point on, I never did, and we built RBI Crew 7 from the ground up, and we continuously have changed and evolved in any way, shape, or form. So we do study the trends. You're right. I'm always, not only am I studying singles, I'm very, very big into the wax industry now. We do a lot, and I study nonstop. I couldn't study for crap in high school and college. I'll be the first to tell you, unless I needed to before a test. But I'm so passionate about this. I love it. I quit playing video games because I treat this industry like a video game. Like, I'm like, ooh, is it up, down? What do I do? Do I buy, sell? Do I do this? It's like, oh, I gotta, it's just, again, I'm going everywhere, but it was all thrown in one, but it's been a remarkable journey that we've been on for 11 years now, right now, 11. Yeah. We're 11 years in.
Yes.
From being open,
the shop. Yeah.
We've been formed, RBI Crew 7 formed 16 years ago, which is just beyond crazy thing. So, but I'm just excited to see where it continues to go, and I hope we continue to grow and adjust to anything we need to do, whether we like it or not.
Well, like I said, it's no different than any business. You have to adapt to, whether it be from the economy perspective, from trends. I work in telecommunications. When I first started in telecommunications, it was all about physical phone systems. Now it's all about subscription and licensing and virtualized and all this other kind of shit. And, our organization has adapted to that, of course, but you either adapt or you die. Like you said, it's no different in running a shop compared to being in the business world, whether it be in tools like Vinny, me in telecommunications, and Dave in retail in the grocery space. Of course, his owner's an idiot and doesn't bother to think at all.
He deals in meat.
He does deal in meat.
Some good meat too.
Hey, we found out that there's high-end like meat Raz groups, man. We found that out from Michael a couple weeks ago.
Oh, that's great.
It's like, huh? He's like, yeah, no, like Kobe beef. Like they do Raz's for Kobe. I'm going, wow.
There's something for everybody, boys.
I'm in the wrong business, man. Freaking Raz and meat, man. Fuck this. I'm quitting my job. I'm going to become a meat Raz dealer. So I know Dave asked Neil this earlier, and of course it was very disappointing to hear his response.
Yeah.
But good reason. Good reason. Food. We've been talking food. I know Dave said like the last 10 episodes. It's been the last 3, with this being number 4. Any places that you're looking forward to going to or going back to while you're there? Right. I know you guys got a lot of dinners scheduled.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favorite is Maria's Mexican because I go to Chicago 2 other times a year. I go in the fall and the spring/winter still, I guess technically. I go in March and November. And Maria's, when I usually go in there, I usually eat Maria's twice in like the 4 days I'm there and only 3 nights. So it is, I highly suggest if you like Mexican, Maria's Mexican, it's maybe a 3 to 5 minute drive from the convention if you hit lights. I mean, it's not far at all, maybe a 10-minute walk. Highly suggest you going there. That's where we're going on Monday. We've got, we're going to Carmine's. That's great if you like Italian.
Yep.
Did you already tell them everything? Am I just repeating?
No, I was boring. I said I can't really eat much of that stuff anymore.
Oh yeah,
no, he mentioned Maria's. He did mention Maria's.
No, he doesn't want or he chooses not to for health reasons, not that he can't eat it.
There you go.
Well, unlike health over there, I have our whole eating schedule planned out for the whole trip. Let me hit you with some truth here. We're gonna leave on Monday. We're gonna stop in Bloomington, Illinois. We're gonna grab Moe's. I love Moe's Southwest. So we eat Mexican. We eat Moe's for lunch and Maria's for dinner on Monday. Tuesday, you just wing it because you're setting up. We're going to got some craft bar. I don't know. Indie Card Exchange in Louisville put together that Tuesday night because it's one of the only nights we can kind of get together before the calm before the storm. Wednesday, it's going to be whatever Neil wants to do because I got to go to the Panini Directs party at Caddyshack, which is going to be just, finger or bar food or whatever. That's nothing to go home about. Thursday, Carmine's with Peach, with one of my big distributors. Friday, Gibson's, which you all know Gibson's.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're familiar with it. And that's also with Peach. And then Saturday, we're doing Morton's Steakhouse. So, and then on Sunday, we hit Portillo's on the way out. That's just my whole agenda. So, no, I've done Giordano's enough. I love it, but I just don't eat a lot of pizza anymore. So, if I have the extra time, I do it. But it's one of those things, Giordano's, as the national goes on, gets so friggin' busy. So, so if you're on Wednesday, try to pick the one place you want to go to and not wait crazy long and go on Wednesday is my advice.
Yeah, because that's something that we had talked about because like Giordano's and Portillo's is one of the top 2 places on our list.
Yeah.
And, Ed even suggested, if you decide to like Portillo's is better to go like at lunchtime during the week.
Yes.
Even during the national, you're still going to have to wait, but like take it for what it's worth. I live in Texas. There's a lot of great Mexican food here. Not that I'm not opposed to going and eating at a Mexican food joint.
Yeah.
I love Mexican food. I love it. And of course, Neil said they got great margaritas. So, that of course piques my interest too. Not that I'm a huge margarita guy, but that does pique my interest.
Do you like green cheese enchiladas? Do you like green enchiladas? Verde.
I'm not a big enchilada guy.
Okay,
I
will say this.
Burritos, chimichangas.
They do have good burritos. They have good burritos.
I like good tacos. I like a lot of Mexican food. I'm not a big fan of verde sauce. That's just me personally. Doesn't mean I won't try it. But, like Mexican, I can get here. But it's one of those in which you both talk about it. It's like, okay, yeah. I'm all for trying a local Mexican food joint. I mean, come on, let's be real. We're talking food here. I love Mexican food, so why not?
You probably should do it.
But I also live in Texas. There's steak places from here to Kingdom Come here.
Yep.
It's true.
I'm spoiled when it comes to steak joints. High end, mid end, low end. And to be honest, a lot of the low end places are better than the mid and the high end here.
No, you ain't denying. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I agree.
So, like, I can get a steak at home. Dave, yeah. I may have disappointed you. Vinny, I may have disappointed you too, but I can get steak at home.
You know what? The number one place for me, other than the Giordano's, Portillo's, because we haven't had it.
Food truck, we know.
Besides the food truck festival, what other food do I talk about all the time that I absolutely love?
You've been talking about Indian food, hasn't
you? Indian food is just absolutely the best. So that's where I'm looking because I love a good heat. If my mouth burns, but I still can taste the food clearly, you're. And if I'm sweating, if I've got a red face and I'm sweating and it's edible and it doesn't kill me, that is literally a foodgasm right there because it's just perfect. I want that heat, and when you burn. But if you burn in your mouth and you can't taste the food, why the fuck are you eating the food? You're just burning your mouth. That's fair. That's fair. Put some ghost peppers or some Carolina Reaper, and then you can have that delicious burning feeling and not feel anything and taste. So
I mean, I had somebody recommend like a barbecue joint. I'm like, really? I live in Texas.
I live in Texas. You think
it's like I live in Texas. Okay.
Go to Carmine. Carmine's Italian. Try that. It's good.
See, I was going to say Italian was another thing.
You like chicken parmesan?
Chicken parmesan, of course.
Oh boy, there you go.
Parmesan's like this big.
Huge.
I'm not even joking. It's bigger than your head. I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. It's like I'm trying to get on the screen. It's like this big, and that's not an exaggeration.
Yeah, he's not BSing on that one. Those things are huge.
Food's great. Try Carmine's.
But Vinny's, part Italian, so Italian food places are on the agenda potentially. So Vinny, I gotta ask, and because all the fucking food shows are running together, because like I said, we've been doing it for the last 3 weeks. Which, not saying it's a bad thing, but Al's, is it Al's Italian Beef? Did you mention that place by chance?
No, Buona beef.
Oh, so somebody told me like Al's Italian Beef or something like that. It's like a name, like a person's name. Is really good too, from what I've heard. And it's near it. Well, he told me it's near Wrigley.
Okay. I have not partaken in that on my trips to Chicago.
Well, because like I said, you always talk about the Italian food, man. I'm trying to, like we've talked more about food than what we have anything else, other than meeting everybody, hanging out, and going to the freaking after hours YouTube trade night stuff, which you can tell I'm so excited about going to. It's been about food, lunch, dinner. Dave wants to do a breakfast place, maybe once or twice, but it's got to be at a reasonable time and fairly close to where we're staying, because we're going to have to make a trip back before we end up driving to the show, because breakfast goes right through me. Oh, Vinny getting some love from the family. How sweet.
I feel the love down there.
Yeah.
How sweet.
She can go with you for Indian food next year in Cleveland, Dave.
Heck yeah.
So Neil, did you tell him about the what's on the docket for 26 for national?
Nope.
26, 3 years from now?
Yeah, so they sent the national sent an email out. So I guess we got Cleveland in 24, Chicago 25, 26 is up in the air. Apparently they're going to for the first time, they're going to let the dealers vote where to go. However, they give you 3 options.
Vegas.
Nope.
Nashville.
What?
Nashville.
Nope.
Dallas.
Arlington.
Not Dallas.
Arlington.
Oh no, Dallas wasn't one of them.
Nope.
No.
Not in Texas.
Atlanta.
Atlanta's one.
St. Louis.
No, thank God.
They ain't coming back here.
I don't want to hear. I get away for a reason.
Florida. Orlando.
What?
Orlando.
Nope. I'll give you a hint. It's a
Cali?
short goal, and they've already been there.
Atlantic City.
Atlantic City's number 2, and number 3, Chicago. So I'm assuming everybody's going to vote Chicago. Just go back to Chicago, where I should just have it. I keep saying they need to go to Dallas. They need to go to Dallas. They're somewhere in Texas. Like they're missing out. It's still centralized in the country. Yeah, East Coast, West Coast. They're missing out on this, or go back to Cleveland. I mean, the Cleveland venue is awesome. Just the area around it sucks.
There's nothing around it.
Everybody's spread out.
No.
I mean, between Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, because Arlington is where all the sports teams are.
Yes.
Both the Rangers and the Cowboys are both in Arlington. Yeah. Downtown Dallas, of course, you have the American Airlines Center, which is where the Stars and the Mavs play. But I could see Arlington being more of there's more hotels and it's not near downtown type situation, but it's still within driving distance of a lot of things to do.
Apparently, I can't. They're just dropping a ball here, and I hope that enough people voice. They're having a thing Tuesday, because Tuesday's early dealers set up. They're having a thing after set up for any of the dealers to come to voice their opinions, everything like that. And we get to vote at the lottery that we have to go to get our booze. Obviously, I've spoken to a lot of people, and everybody's so pissed that they're even considered Atlantic City. All the rumors were they're never coming back. They're never coming back. And here we are. Like, I don't care if I set records in Atlantic City. I hate it.
Same.
The thing I hate more about it is how many kids are in the hobby and it's growing. And I saw so many kids there. I'm like, there's no way, shape, or form I would ever bring my kid to Atlantic City. Like, it
makes no sense.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal. I get the venue works, but the area around it. I mean, Neil, you remember walking back the one day, and there's just a homeless guy, like basically in the sidewalk. We think dead.
Yeah.
just like in the middle. Like I'm like, this guy's either dead or alive. Not saying that happens everywhere, but there's just
But
that's not just my point. It's not
But-
ideal. So
it's just dirty.
it's dirty.
I can't stand it.
And let's be honest, we're all card guys. We're degenerates. So guess what? You put us around casinos, we're gonna make bad decisions. Every freaking one of us that rips makes a bad decision. And obviously most hotels you stay in there are casinos. You're taking money away from the show because I guarantee you 8 to 9 out of those 10 people gambling are losing money, and only 1 or 2 of those card guys are winning. So I don't know. Hopefully, again, I'm okay. I think Chicago is the best, but obviously it's convenient for us. However, there's so much to do around it. There's so many hotels. I don't know. Again, I wish they would consider Dallas or Texas somewhere.
Hell,
I've been to
Houston.
Houston
Could even work.
They could do it. Like, they're just missing a boat, and they're never going to go back. From my understanding, they're not going back to the West Coast because it's just too costly. They're just not going. But why are we looking at East Coast when people have to go from one end of the country to the other? If you put it centralized, again, go somewhere with an international airport, i.e. Chicago. Atlantic City, the airport flying in is terrible there. It's not ideal.
You got to fly into Philly if you want to get there.
Yeah, I'm saying you're still an hour away.
Horrible. So I don't know. I hope we finally get to voice our thoughts and opinions about it, and hopefully we have more of a voice for, I guess, everybody. And I think everybody would agree not to go back to Atlantic City unless you lived over there and you love it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to dog on Atlantic City, but let's be honest, it's just not ideal. So
It's not ideal for a card show.
No.
You're dogging on Atlantic City. It's okay. It's allowed. It sucks. Let's be real. It sucks. I've never been, but it sucks.
And if you're bringing your family, it's not family friendly.
No, not at
So,
all.
I mean, what the hell are you doing? I mean, you're.
Well, it's like Vegas. It's like Vegas. You're not going to take your young kids to Vegas. You're really not.
No.
You're not, because you can't even enjoy yourself in Vegas with the kids, and the kids can't enjoy themselves. So it's like Chicago, there's a lot to do, and down in Texas, it's just, I don't know. Again, this is just what we found out 2 days ago.
Well, and like Stuke was saying, the Dallas metro area is a lot bigger than what people realize.
Yeah, it is.
And I would love
to AC. I still got to go. I can't give up my spot. I do not look forward to that 16-hour drive though.
It could always be worse, technically.
Could.
But,
I would be okay driving. I don't know how far Dallas is, but I've done Houston. That's like 15, 16 or whatever. I would okay driving down to Texas.
We've done that before.
Yes,
I mapped the time to your guys' shop from where I live. Now, mind you, I live north of DFW.
Yeah.
i.e. Dallas Fort Worth. I'm an hour from the Oklahoma border.
Okay.
But from my house to the shop is, I think, almost a little over 10 hours.
Okay.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's not bad. No.
So
Consider.
me living in North Texas, 10 hours from me, it would be 11 and a half to 12 to downtown if it was near downtown.
Yeah.
Which would also attribute to about the same amount of time if it was in Arlington, let's say.
Okay.
So it would still be, 11, 12-hour drive. It's not great, but it's not 16 hours.
Right. There's not Atlantic City.
So, and I mean, like I said, there is a shit ton to do in the area with all the sports teams as it is. And Six Flags, Wet and Wild, or whatever the fuck they call it. Ton of fucking restaurants, ton of malls, ton of entertainment venues. There is a ton of shit here.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. But it's on the docket.
Tell them Dallas.
Yes.
Tell them Dallas. Tell them it should be held in Dallas.
I'm sure a lot of people will, actually.
I bet a lot of people will say that. Dallas has proven itself to be an animal, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And you throw something new.
What was that, Dave?
You throw something new in there, and as much as you like going to Chicago, Cleveland, some might like going to AC. It's like, okay, here's a new one. And a lot of the dealers probably have been there because of the last couple of years that the shows have been going on down there. So if you got a feel for it, it's like, okay, we like it down there. It's accommodating. What Steve just said about the area, it's like, let's try it. Let's at least try it and see how it goes. If it doesn't go well, hey, we tried.
Like Allen couldn't house it. I mean, which is where the Dallas Car Show is being held, which I know it's a pretty good sized place. I never, I'm still yet to go.
It couldn't.
It could not hold the national. No. So it would have to be Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, somebody that has a significant sized convention center.
Jerry World.
Yeah.
Technically, I mean, they could do it at the stadium. Technically, I mean, that's a pretty good sized spot. But even then,
kind of parking,
and then some.
Well,
Jerry could make a shit ton of money just on people having to pay to park. And Stuke's right. Largest casino in the world is just an hour north of us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody who wants to go to a casino, they have an option. They have an option. It's there.
We'll see if they're open their ears and listen. I guess I have no idea. All I know is
it's not. It's nice that they're finally doing something like that for those who consistently set up.
We've never been able to cast our vote, and they said when you come to get your lottery, you get to cast a vote. It's always been people have done petitions, they've done other stuff, they've listened, but they've never casted a vote. So that's a step in the right direction. It is under new owners, I guess, is what it is, I believe. So they are making some other changes. Some other changes are after this year, you're no longer allowed to let anybody sit up at your booth that isn't you or your company. Basically, you're not allowed to sublease. You're not allowed to lay by sit up because from what's happening is people are, I guess, paying $1,300 to $1,500 a booth, whatever it is, and they're charging people are willing to pay $5,000 to $10,000 for that booth, and they're just using their priority number. So the higher priority number, you the better spot are the options of getting booths, and what they're doing is just gouging and creating a market for it, and people are just not even setting up. That guy may have not set up in the past 10 years. He just subleases it out or he breaks it up. We've always let people set up with us, but always been basically for free. Hey, cover your badges and we'll give you a couple spots. We actually got a call from the president of the national committee last week, who I know personally. It was nice for him to call me. He gave me a heads up that they were doing this because our name made the list, but basically assured me hey, I just called you out of courtesy to let them know to take you off the list, that I know you'll follow the guidelines. And I just know you guys do a lot of social media. You've always had people set up. And I said, look, if that's the new rule, not a problem. We won't have anybody with us except anybody that represents RBI Crew 7 because it's just not worth me to risk the biggest week of the year. So things are going to be interesting. We have said you're going to get stripped your priority, or they may just not let you set up. I have no idea. We're probably going to sign in our new contract. They couldn't really do anything this year, but it's been something they want to do. It's fairly inexpensive to set up. For a 10 by 15, it's like $1,300. And for
the whole show?
Yeah, that's for the whole show. That's a booth. That's a 10 by 15, which they give you an 8 and a 6, or is it 2 8s and a 6? I can't remember what it was. Could be like 2 8s and a 6. Yeah, something like that. But basically, you get all these tables. We get 2 booths, so we build a whole thing of a jigger-bobber. But it's, again, I was talking to John, the sheriff, not Summers, IND, Sarah. Out of everything that we financially spend to be up there, maybe hotels, food, whatever, the best deal we get is the tables at the National. Now, I do assume the prices are going to go up in the future. It won't be this year because we already turned in our new contract, but I could see them changing the pricing. My buddy John suggested that they may go away from priority and maybe say, these are our premium spots. You can pay X to get over here, or you can pay Y to be in a back corner. So that's something which, playing the system, you pay more if you want a better spot or be around your buddies, whatever, because we're priority 6 right now, going to be a 7. So we go in, there's people are priority 40s or whatever the hell it is. So, but there's also people 1s, 2s, 3s that may not even get a booth, but we go in and this is the first time we've lost everybody we've promoted with and we've been around. We're just around Sports Car Junction. Everybody else, because they're under us, there was no spots left where we were at. Everybody had to spread out. So it's going to be real interesting from that standpoint. But one thing about the National is you can find anybody there. And if you do a lot of social media out, anybody's going to find you. If they want to find you, they're going to find you. You know, to me, I don't think there's a bad spot in the National if you're promoting it and
you're a marketer.
Yeah, if you promote it and price right, you know, fair to people and people know you, they're going to find you. They're going to want to deal with you. Like you said, you guys want to make a beeline to come see us first. We love that. You know, that's awesome. So there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that normal, you know, collectors like you that come that don't know what's going on, but there's a lot of national behind the scenes that are changing. Could be for the better. We'll find out, but we're just going to abide by the rules and never surrender the biggest week of what we do for RBI Cruise 7 for just singles. We don't even bring a single box of cards to sell. That's the best part about it. And we did it like one year. That was a disaster. I was like, this is too much work.
Yeah, it was.
So what do you think about them adding all the additional square footage this year, though?
I think it's better. I mean, they need to because they're going to break record. I think there's going to be more people than ever. They've said the past 2 or 3 years, it's just there's more people every year. And they need to accommodate, and why not use that space? Now, that's because the convention center, the Dolly Stevens, where it's at, they've created more space for I guess, to grow all their things that they rent out or whatever they do. So I think it's great. That could be potentially more dealers that take away from me, but I think it's better for the people like you guys walking around. I think there's more things for you guys to see, which means you need more time to hit that room.
Neil, thoughts from your side?
I mean, I agree. You get more options, more cards, so get more stuff to see, more people that could have what you're looking for.
Yep, that's what it's about. I mean, it's about being there to see people you only see once a year, friends you have, but also your collectors or you're looking. I mean, most people walking around, I would say 7 out of 10 are a collector. The other 3 are a flipper. Maybe it's come 50-50 now, but I feel there's just more opportunity for the people walking around. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I think the more people that are overpriced makes me look better. You know,
That's a fact.
But this is what people say every year. Like, you guys have the best pricing. You're fair. You know, if a car sells for $100, price it at $100. We just talked about this on our podcast the other day. Why would you price that car for $150 when you can go buy one online for worst case $110? Like, nobody's going to pay you $150 for a car. They can go click and buy it now for $110 right now and then pay, $10 in taxes. Like, just get to reality. If that's what it's worth, I get something may have popped on eBay within the week that you priced it. It happens. But if somebody can prove that to you, then you should take the sale. I don't care if you pay. I lose money. I mean, I lose money. Like, it is what it is. I make bad investments, make bad buys. I may have been buying for this show. I don't care. If I paid $100 for the card and the card when I go to the shows worth $80, I'm pricing $80. That's all there is to it.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's something that we've talked about before. You know, all these people talking about wanting to turn a profit on a flip. You know, $100, $200 or whatever. You know, buy it for $1,000, sell it for $1,200. Yeah, that's great. But you have all these people that are unwilling to take a loss. Yep. And what people fail to realize, successful businesses are willing to sell things at a loss because it still brings in revenue.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing because you can make it up. Now, if you do that consistently, then you're destined to fail.
Yeah.
But if it's 10% of the time, let's say, that you're losing money because you priced something wrong originally or you bought it for too much because at that time it was at a higher price point. But if you do that 10% of the time, the 90% is going to pick that up and then some.
Easy, yep.
So it's like people, yes, it's about making money, but it's not always about turning a profit.
No.
At the end of the day, you'll turn a profit. Just don't take loss all the time.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, what you can take that money that you bought, yes, say you paid $1,000, let's say you pay $1,000 and you sold for $800, you're down $200. Well, then you take that $800 and then you turn around and you buy other things. The next thing you know, that you flip all that for $1,200. Well, guess what? Do the math. You know, you can use that money to catapult yourself to get the worst case break even. But it's, you can ask Neil, like product, it's hard gearing what the product's going to do. You try to pre-buys or pre-buys and buy more and thinking, 90 times out of 100, I get it right. 10 times hurts. So whenever I take a bloodbath on a product that I sell, you can ask Neil, I get more excited.
He's excited.
A bloodbath loss than I do about the ones I'm making money. I'm like, get that crap out of here. I don't care if it's a bad or good product at all. I'm losing and let's sell it. I don't care because it's never going to come back. Ellie De La Cruz does not happen all the time. I'm not saying, but wasn't enough Ellie De La Cruzes out there. There's only a handful of products he was in. This is the craziest hype I've seen since Albert Pujols back in the day for baseball. And I wish Ellie had more products prior to him coming to majors that maybe would be growing up, but he's driving up so much product right now. Well, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to continue to do what he's doing. But there's so many products that we buy that I'm like, 2019-20 basketball. There's things I'm down under because I was buying at the absolute peak because of Zion and Ja Morant. And that class is not amounting to what it should have been.
Yep.
So products that I may be selling for $185 that maybe I bought at one point for 400. You just take a bloodbath and you made money all this time. I want it gone. That product's not never, but it's going to be hard for it to bounce back. So people got to learn, like you said, take losses, just get out from it and turn something bad, something negative into a positive. That's all I can say.
Well,
also, though,
sorry, Neil, go ahead.
If you are willing to take a loss and be fair on a card, that person will come back to you. So you're still making that relationship. So you can still make money by losing, if that makes sense.
Well, and for those who actually run a business, and I'm not speaking out of context, I'm not a business guy, but this is business 101. You sell shit for a loss, you get the stuff off your books, you pay less fucking taxes.
That's true too.
You run a business in which you have inventory. Most states require you to pay taxes on inventory value.
Yep.
If you ain't got it, you don't pay taxes on it. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
But like I said, for those who run a legitimate business, you understand that. You get that. That's why taking things for a loss is better at the end of the day and at the end of the year because you end up paying less taxes.
Correct.
For those people who don't run a legitimate business, they don't pay taxes anyways, so they don't care. It's all about turning the profit.
Yep. Yeah.
But if you want to take the step to become a legitimate business, you have to understand the ins and outs.
Yeah.
You have to understand the ins and outs.
Yep. And Uncle Sam's an asshole. But you know what? He's hyper and he stays off your back. And that's the thing. The industry, this industry itself is flown under the radar for many years. In the past 5 years is really, it's hard to fly under the radar anymore, especially electronically. So you better be paying the Uncle Sam, you better be paying your dues. And like you said, sometimes incurring a loss or doing things of that nature could actually help you. Or maybe you look at a loss on paper, but really at the end of the day, like Steve said, you could be saving yourself on the taxes. Because yes, I pay taxes on inventory, so it sucks. It sucks. It does. You're like, why am I paying taxes for this crap? I'm trying to tell you, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. I've learned a lot in all these years, and from starting where we started from to now, it's crazy. It's all I can say.
Well, it's all about accurate record keeping.
Yep.
And I mean that has a lot to do with it. But going back to the selling the stuff for a loss, since you brought up 17-8 or 19-20, 18-19 basketball specifically, or whatever year it was, I don't give a shit because I don't know basketball.
Yes, 19-20.
Have you found that you guys have to take more loss on product than you do on actual singles more times than not?
Yeah. Yes. Neil can contest to that. But you hold something so long, sometimes it could pay off tremendously. Like I'm still sitting on cases of 2017 football, like Contenders and Optic. So that's not a bad thing. You know, I have other years that I'm sitting on. There's baseball products that have blown up. There's basketball. There's, you know, it's product, yes, especially the way things are going now. You know, we could be incurring losses like it used to be, where you get a product in yourself from Tops, and it hasn't really happened yet for baseball or anything, but for soccer, yes, we've had product coming in, and some of the basketball products are making the day of release, they're way down. Now, Chops is trying to control and change some of that to I guess help us more or less create a map and try to control where that goes. But when it comes to older stuff, yeah, it can happen if you hold it long enough. There's like I have 2019 Heritage here. Let me give you a number here. Let me hit you with a number. This product, I don't even think it's a terrible product. So as of right now, I have 68 boxes left of 2021 Topps Heritage High Number Baseball. We are selling them for $45 a box. Take all fees, everything else. I paid an average of $63.28 per box. So, you know, we're losing $20 a box every time we sell it at least. Now, could there be some rookie in there to carry it one day? It's not a bad product. You can hit Ohtani on it. You can hit a Trout on it. You can hit good stuff. But it just one of those products that we're selling, and I see it every time. We've sold 3 this week. You know, we sold Case last week. It's just get it gone. You know, it's only taking up space. There's more product coming out every week. We need that space. May it be on our shelves or on our floor. But that happens a lot. But like I said, 90 times out of 100, we're making profit. It's 10 times out of 100, we're not. 90 outweighs 10. So from a business standpoint, you got to take the bad with the good. And that's kind of what we deal with when it comes to wax singles. The only time you're really going to take a loss in singles if you make a bad investment or bad buy. If you're buying right and you flip it or you get it, process it quickly, you're going to be fine. It's all a matter of, you know, obviously you don't, if Ja Morant does something stupid like he did, his cards go down. Don't realize some advice. I've been around this industry long enough. Michael Vick killed dogs. People forget him. His shit was worth more the second time he came out of jail than it was on his rookie hype in 01. Ben Roethlisberger, we know what he did. Won a Super Bowl. Cards went up. Kobe Bryant, Ray Lewis probably killed a guy. Cards still sell. I mean, you know, we in the sports world, Deshaun Watson, people are starting to forget of all the stuff that he did. The thing in the sports world is if you go out in the field or on the court or whatever and you perform and you did your wrongs and you said your wrongs and you admit it and you recover from it, as long as you didn't really take steroids or whatever, we tend to forgive and forget, and then your stuff goes up when you perform and we forget about the things you did. So Ja Morant may be getting a lot of heat right now. He's making bad decisions as a kid, but in the sports world, he may not be a terrible buy if they keep going down, because as long as he goes on the court and performs and keeps his head on straight, I mean, that could be a great buy. I remember buying Michael Vick rookie autos for $5 to $10 when he was in jail just because it was Michael Vick. And next thing you know, I held him in a box. He came back, the Eagles dominated, and I flipped him for $300-$400. You know, Deshaun Watson I've been buying for a while. So is that my dog barking? Hang on one second. Give me my dog bark. I don't want to wake up the kids.
No worries. No, 100%. And that's what's so interesting about sports in general. No matter what sport, it's like somehow, shape, form, or fashion, we all have short memories.
That's a fact.
So. Neil, that's a question for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading.
It seems Billy has a question.
Unless Ryan's the wax guy.
I mean, he is. I mean, we could try our best, but it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, because I think the reason why I was asking, because you guys have access to like DealerNet.
Yeah, Ryan mainly uses that for pricing. I don't think we've ever bought or sold on there. Because I'll tell you what, that man does research out the wazoo on pricing our wax.
Well, and I can see that because that wax is more versatile,
Mm-hmm.
not versatile, volatile,
Volatile. Yeah,
than singles.
yeah, absolutely.
Because singles, yes, can fluctuate up and down consistently based on performance and things along those lines. But wax prices, like they can go, you can buy it at X, and then they can like shoot up like this, and all of a sudden it's like, and then they
Yep.
crater out of the middle of nowhere.
Yep, because God forbid Ellie De La Cruz gets hurt, breaks his leg or something. The products that shot up, good tank.
Yep.
The main reason for my question is because I was just down in Tennessee at a shop, and I thought they didn't know what they had.
Yeah.
So they just took them all off the shelves. It was 2 boxes of 15-16 showcase, 7/8 Fleer Ultra, 01020 Peachy, and a box of 12-13 certified, all hockey.
Yeah.
And the kids were all under, I say, 25 years old. And the one kid was like, well, the sticker on a box is $45.95. I'm like, oh, please sell me 20-year-old wax for the sticker that on 102, please. And I was like, I'll give you $1,000 for all of it. And they like looked at me for a while, and they're like, I think we better call our boss. And I was like, foiled, but it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
It's the first thing he said. My boss is going on DealerNet now to see what the prices are. So it's just curious for me. Like, say if I was looking for 10, 11 something and I can't find it anywhere. You go to, say, someone comes to your shop and says, I'm looking for 10, 11 certified hockey. And are you able to go on there and buy it and then, charge me a fee to get it? I was always curious if shops will actually do that for you.
Right.
I mean, like if you're looking for something and then if you didn't like, hey, if you can go locate this product for me kind of deal, will you do that for me? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that kind of idea.
Okay. Yeah, no, I mean, like that's an option. Yeah, we have DealerNet to our disposal. We have other avenues to get product through distributors. So yeah, it can be harder finding some of that stuff. A lot of times the older stuff on DealerNet, the way DealerNet works, really doesn't show up well because they kind of push it down and almost push it out kind of deal. So the better options in that sometimes is maybe through a distributor that we have that they may still have some of that. But yeah, we've done that before for customers where they've come in, they've had a request. We've called a few people we know or reached out and we were able to locate some. DealerNet is a good option. Now we have a couple good Facebook pages we're on with other shop owners. Sometimes we've done that where we, send a message on there like, hey, does anybody have this? We're looking at this for a customer. We've done that. Other shops have that option if they do, if they're in those groups or have access to that stuff. I guess some shops are more have their hands in other places than others. Some don't have a lot of good distributor relationships, and it takes years. It's hard to really grow allocation with these distributors. So really to get them to want to give you the time is based on what you're willing to do with them. But there's good distributors and bad. But no, it's possible. It's just, again, you're looking at like products from 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Sometimes my best success when I'm looking, because I love finding older stuff like that too to rip, I just go to eBay usually. That's usually become my good avenue. What I used to pick up like an 05 Heritage Wrestling box, Neil, that I haven't ripped yet that I wanted to rip because I want to pull a Roddy Piper auto. So, for me, it's like no distributor, nobody I know is going to have that. Where those are sitting, all those products you're saying, probably some random mom and pop shop in the middle of nowhere, That's usually where those things are sitting, and they've been sitting since the product came out. So and a good, you know what? You go into the right place to find that stuff, the National. And that's the best. That's usually been my favorite place to go because I get in trouble when I walk the room, and you can ask Neil. for fighting cards anymore. I go look for product. And I'm like, oh my God, this would be so fun to rip. Like, I don't even care if I get kicked in the nuts. I just want to rip this product again. So I can contest to that from a collector standpoint, because I want to find stuff I want to rip. That's the place you can find things you're not going to see every day anymore. And it's crazy because it used to be all over all the time.
Yep. That's what I was in the middle of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm coming across 2 boxes of 15-16 showcase, 7-8 ultra, all hockey. I was like, I'll give you $1,000 for it. And I'm just sitting there, please. And they called their boss, and they were smart. They passed the test. But because those 15-16 showcase is McDavid rookie year.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I could have got all that for $1,000, it would have been a good.
You'd have been a hell of a deal. Yeah, you'd have been jumped through the roof. So those,
especially when a kid wanted to charge me $46 for 2 of the boxes, because that's what the tag was.
Wow.
He's like, well, the tag says 46, and the other kid looked at him and he said, "That's probably been on there since the day they bought that." And I'm like,
"Yep,
you kids are smart." I said, "This is a different bunch here." I was happy to see it. I don't want to screw anybody over.
No,
Right.
I mean, I'm going to shoot my shot when I can.
Yeah. No, it's love finds like that, but at least you were honest about it, and then the pass the test kind of deal,
Yeah. I still bought something from them, and they gave me a pretty good deal, so I was happy.
There you go.
So
worked out anyway.
So how's your podcast going? I will admit I have not listened to a single thing, just because again it's softball and work. That's literally all I do now. And then this on Tuesday. Well, now Wednesday nights because of softball on Tuesday nights. And now Naomi and I are going down like every Thursday to Minneapolis and then coming right back because she's taking hour-long pitching lessons down there.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Pitched at Purdue for 4 years and then has all like the state high school records for Minnesota, like no hitters, strikeouts, wins, perfect games. And then she's basically the same size, so it's not like somebody that's like 6'2" teaching somebody that's like 5'4", 5'3". So it's like you know exactly how you're working. So that's 500 driving every week just for that. So I mean it's busy, and I don't do a lot of the apps for the podcasts and all this like the Spotify's, and I like to turn on the radio, whatever plays, and I'm good. I don't want to get back. I'm serious. I gotta find a station. Hey, some Gordon Lightfoot's on, some Beatles, some Elvis. Hey, there's like the Who, Poison, whatever's on. I just want to listen to it. I don't want to do anything else that requires thinking when I'm on the road. There's already enough thoughts going through the head. You don't need to be like,
no.
So how's that going?
Neil, I'll let you take this one.
I mean, I love doing it. I mean, it's something that we would do anyway on Mondays. It would just be in our office, just BSing about the week that was and who made what trade in fantasy football and stuff like that. So we figured, why not record it and let everybody else listen to it?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting repeat listeners. I mean, it's growing. It seems like we had a lot of questions this podcast, which was nice. Sometimes we'll get 2 to 4. This one I think had 6 to 8.
6, yeah.
I mean, Neil's approached me for years to do it. I mean, he was on me for a long time ago, and I kept putting it off, and went to Chicago or November, and I think I was laying in bed one night, couldn't sleep, and I'm like, you know what? I work too damn hard on Mondays. I need to take an hour and take it to myself, and you know what? Let's do this podcast. Let's do it. Plus, I love talking fantasy football, but
you love talking in general.
Yes. What's that?
You love talking in general.
I love talking in general. Thanks. I appreciate it. But no, I needed, for me, it was more of like, this is an opportunity for me to kind of just be me for an hour and 15 a week and just, take the chains off or just be myself. And there's a lot of responsibility I have on Mondays. So after I do it, I'm like, damn it, I got to make up this hour. But at the end of it, I feel like it's good for all of us, and people enjoy to listen to it. And a lot of locals talk to us about it. A lot of non-locals talk about it, message us all the time. And, I've had a lot of people say, love your podcast. Some of my friends listen to it now. So, when there's repeat people listening every week, obviously you guys know with your show here,
Mhm.
it makes you want to continue to do it. It makes you want to, get on every Monday and do that hour and 15. And I'm excited now that we're bringing our Dynasty League back into it. We're able to talk fantasy football. It's truly become my hobby. I mean, obviously cards have always been my hobby, but I don't know. I just live for fantasy football. My wife hates me for it, but I love it. So I think Neil can attest to that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's the champ. I'll have to give him his credit. He won last year. He's the champ.
I'm gonna have to record this part.
That's the only time I'll give you that credit. At least I don't have to get on one knee and put the ring on you at the draft, so I'm good.
No, that's good old Potter.
Yep, it's his turn now. He hasn't done that in a while.
Is he still dealing cards?
Very little, but he is in our league, which is great because it's kept us, in contact with him. That's the best part of the league is it's year round. It's truly a year-round dynasty league, and the league is just nonstop. The only time it really slows down is when you were locked, whenever the playoff teams are in, and the non-ones can't do anything, and nobody can do anything until the actual end of our season. So, but no, it helps us keep in contact with him. And if you remember, Pete was Bronco Man 40. Pete, he just left this year. He's just too busy with kids growing up, and it's because it's year round. It's kind of we're all very involved, and we want everybody to be involved. I'm not saying Pete wasn't, but he just said, "Hey, I think it's time for me to break off," and I respect that. And we
understand.
But I tend to talk to him during football season, so I'll still call him on the way to work sometimes. And now I can actually confide in him in some trades because now I don't have to worry about him, colluding. So
you got a trusted advisor.
Trusted advisor. I got a few of those, but I love it. It's kept us kind of all close together, and then now we can talk about in the podcast, which we enjoy. But again, we talk a lot about the hobby, a lot about what's going on, and we may bring it. We could talk wrestling on there. It's kind of our own show. You can do what you want, and if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. I hope with the people continuously listening, they do. So we're going to keep it. We're going to miss our first podcast since we formed in November. On the Monday and National, we will not have our first official podcast. So we'll be traveling that day, so we can't do it.
Yeah, it's to keep that schedule and to keep it like regimented. We've dealt with that a lot too. Again, we're on Wednesday nights because the softball games are on Tuesday, but you don't want to sit there and go away. Because of the people that actually give a shit about listening to whatever nonsense we're spewing each week.
Right.
And it will go from like 2.5 to 3.5 hours, somewhere in there. We used to, like, when we first started, it was like 4 or 5 hours we'd go. I'm like, I can't do that anymore. That's now Naomi's more competitive with the softball job. We switched out locations about 1.5 years ago. So now our spot's like an old Shopco building. So it's a bigger building by like twofold on the floor. So, I mean, it's a lot more work there. And it's like you don't want to go away from that for those people because you feel obligated. Again, it's not like a huge audience. It's not like some of these people on YouTube or Instagram or wherever that have hundreds of thousands of followers, people that care about like what you're doing. But our people are our people. It's the same like what we had in YouTube back in the day. It's like if you care about the people, you're going to care about trying to bring them something just to like take 3 hours out of their day and be like, I remember what they said. What an idiot. Something Dave said. What a dumb shit thing he said again. the bingo board, I don't have to have the free space in the middle. It's something stupid Dave said. That's the free space. So at times it becomes, because for me, I like to have at least one little topic that like I want to talk about. And then I try to put together an interesting placeholder just because it's something fun for me to do.
Yeah.
But I don't want to sit there and talk about the same industry. Hey, here's the new PSA fees. Here's the CSG something. Here's the slab, what it looks like. Here's the allocation, the distribution. Here's what Fanatics is. I'm like, let the people I care about that shit talk about that shit. I don't. It doesn't affect me. Not saying it doesn't affect any of our listeners or viewers, but it's not like they're clamoring for it. They're not saying, well, you got to talk about this. This is big news. I mean, if it's something like, hey, Topps fucking sells out, that's big news.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to go into every, like Steve with the the business, like, acumen there. It's like, no, we're going to talk about what this might mean. But we're not going to sit there and try to prognosticate the future. We're not in those conference rooms. We can say, well, this might, well, you know what? I'm not doing that because we just know they sold. That's all we know. Well, I'm not saying what their business model is for it because I have no fucking clue. And I'm not going to sit there and guess. So just trying to go through all that and try to keep it fresh, trying to keep it where it's not the same shit you see on YouTube or anywhere else all the time, because there's a lot of the overlap. It's like, I don't care about Prism and 54 variations. I don't care about, I opened a $20,000 box. What did I get? And you have the stupid thumbnail of the guy with the mouth open, and you want to put your fucking foot in it because it's open. I talked to Neil earlier before you got on. I was disappointed you didn't have somebody that just recently came to your store and take a tour of it, which I always like. I always like showing people, like, I've been there. I know these guys. These are good friends of mine. They're good people. So I try to pimp that out. But when I saw that, and I'm like, God, I hope Ryan's on there. Nope, he's gone on vacation. And I'm like, well, at least Neil gets to deal with this particular individual.
Yeah, we try to coordinate with them to see if they could, switch the days around to where I'd be there because they wanted me to be there as well. But I mean, I've had my trip planned to Italy for, I don't know, almost a year. So, and they have their agenda. So, but I'm glad they still did it. But Neil did a great job in my absence. And, I know he worries about, like, I don't know how I did. I'm like, dude, you did fine. I watched the video. Shannon thought the video was great. My wife gave approval to you, Neil. So you're good. You're good. So, no, but no.
Good team Reese get some light in there, too.
What's that?
Good seeing Reese get a little light in there, too.
Yeah, Reese was there, and then was it Shermanic there, right?
Shermanic, yeah, it was Matt.
So, it was a great staff I had there that day, and it was busy, and they got some great content of our shop, and we appreciate it. We've actually picked some business up from it. We've had some people reach out to us and say, I heard, saw you guys in the video, and, you guys look like a really good shop, and I want to support you. And I thought that was cool. It's, again, I would have loved to have been there myself, so Neil and I both could have done it. But again, I was kind of creeping in on because when I was in Italy, I was 7 hours ahead. I have my cameras. I was kind of creeping in to see what's going on throughout the time we were. So I kind of saw things. So I kind of texted Neil a couple of times. I was like, I noticed some things, and it was good things, So I was like, damn, it looks busy in there right now. That's great. He's gonna get video. That, so it made me happy. Sorry, I'm done. Oh gosh. I think I got to start wrapping up. Apparently, I got the "I'm done. She is all yours" text from my wife, so my daughter's not going to bed. So apparently,
I got to bounce here too, boys.
I'm sorry, but I'll get two more. I'll give you 2 more minutes, and then I'll head up there. So, anything you want to end on?
Well, how do you feel about all that? Like, I'll say, like, again, I think we talked a little about it that last year. The constant presence of some of these folks, and I won't mention names. Everybody knows how much I love them all. They're the same few people that are always, and I know it's good for your business. See you, Neil.
Bye, Neil. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
That how do you feel about that? It being, and again, you're getting business, but now it's something I'm sure. We thought of with blog, okay, we'll have the camera on us. Don't have to worry about anybody. YouTube, I can start the video, I can end the video. Now when you're going everywhere and you're recognized at the shops, at the shows, maybe even out and about, I don't know. If somebody sees you at, like, Target and you're buying something, it's like, hey, Ryan, what's going on? How's RBI Crew? How has that sort of changed everything business-wise and personally?
It's been good. I mean, like we go. People approach me if I have the shirt on, obviously, and some of my employees say the same thing. It's like they're like, "I love your shop. I was there today," and that's awesome. Some of the drawbacks could be, when I go to, not a drawback, but if I'm going to a local show and I need to go buy,
Yep.
and it gets harder sometimes because people want to approach you and talk to you, and I'm okay with it. I'm always down to talk and take the time to talk to anybody in the hobby, but I only have so much time, so sometimes I'm like. I sometimes leave the show and I'm like, well, didn't get as much done as I wanted because, I got sidetracked. But it's cool. But I mean, I'm not in any way, shape, or form the level of some of those other guys. They're out there way more. They're traveling the country. They're so many followers. I mean, so we're more local based. But again, at national, there's more people that approach us. So it's cool, but I mean, I'm just a normal guy like you guys, man. I'm nobody. I don't let any of that get to my head ever, and I'm always willing to take the time to talk to anybody and about the hobby or just questions or just introduce themselves. I think it's really cool, and I think that's probably the coolest part about it is like I'm just a normal dorky card guy who loves cards, and people want to talk to me about that, and that's cool. So
I'll ask you this, and we'll leave on this. First, thank you for you joining us because I know, again, you just scheduled.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And then Neil coming on, Aaron earlier.
Yeah.
Anything planned for kids at the National? You going to bring some merch there for like the shirts? Because I've known in the past you brought shirts, and I'm just wondering because maybe there might be specific children of perhaps people that are currently on the screen that might be joining them.
Okay. We haven't ironed out everything yet. I did just order our national shirts this year. We just ordered 130 of them between medium to 2XL, I think it was, or whatever. So we have those coming. Those will be given away to people. Haven't really ironed anything else out right now. I'm in pricing mode, but every day goes on, I add something we need to do, and that's something we may, we're going to consider. We'll have stickers there, obviously, but maybe have some packs of cards. I haven't ironed that out completely yet, what we're doing, but we like to do that. We're very big on kids getting free stuff and they come to our shop, never leave empty handed. So I'm going to make some decisions leading up to that, but we always have our shirts and stickers, and those are free for people that ask. And then, we could do stuff for kids. So
save at least one medium. Vinny, what do you got?
Yeah.
Two small.
So small. We didn't order any small this year because we basically left with all the smalls last year, so we just didn't order them.
So two mediums. Keep two mediums.
Two mediums.
And what's your booth number?
152 and 154.
Okay. So everybody watching, archive. You're going to the National RBA Cruise 7. That's a staple. 152, 154. You'll see a big sign that 20 by 7 foot, and
I think it's 20 by 7.
You'll see a lot of people there. A lot of people will be there, and probably a lot of content creation from all of our favorite friends.
Yep.
So thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Get back to your family. Love you. Can't wait to see
I'm all the way in the basement. I can hear my daughter screaming, so my wife is literally done with her. She's been screaming for 5 minutes. She's been a pain in the ass tonight, so got to go deal with that now. It's past my bedtime, but I'm like, hey, let's go deal with this one. So no, thanks again, David, Steve, for having me on. Vinny, nice chatting with you as well. Anybody watch or listen, thanks again. But yeah, I appreciate you having us on again. Hopefully we can do this more than once a year.
Anytime you have time, we will always accommodate you.
Just hit me up. You stay on my butt, and I'll make some extra time for you. Don't worry. Like I said, I couldn't do last week, but this week I want to make it happen. So I'm glad to be here. Glad that you had me on, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in 2 weeks.
Can't wait, my friend.
All right. See you guys.
Take care, Ryan.
Bye.
A lot of stuff going on tonight. That's a pretty packed show.
That it was. It was nice to see Aaron Davis when he popped in. You tricked me on that one.
Again, it's always, I tried to get his cohort, but next 2 weeks he's busy with work. So I'm like,
gotta have him back.
Oh, I know. That's something he's like, I want to get back on there. And I said, it's an open invite. This isn't like you're done. And then It's if you come and ask me, hey, what do you guys got this week for the show? You want to come on? We're never opposed to that.
There's
So
times I just sat there and watched him and Xavier go through cards, just like this one and then this one.
yep.
And just now that stuff that the other one hasn't seen, and they just sit there like kids, and it's the most enjoyable thing to watch. And sometimes Nate will be there, Top City 5401, and they'll just go back and forth. Each one will show a couple cards, and they do that for like 2 hours. And you're like, then they tell the story about the card. Nobody does that anymore.
No. Why would they?
It's like when you go and grab one of those 700 warehouse boxes, and you start showing stuff like you did tonight, like out of nowhere. Look what I can do here. And it's like, really? What warehouse did that come from? Why haven't I seen that before? And you don't bring out one or two. It's like 3 copies of one card, and like,
But that's the thing. It's like, okay, now I can give one of those to Aaron when I see him at the show. It's like, I don't need 3 copies. It came, I think there was either 3 copies in the lot, or it was like 3 right in a row. Auction wise went off, and like again, Evolution, Probstein, somebody. I'm like, okay, I'll put like $6 on each of them.
Yeah,
Win them for like $3.83 each one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, $15 for 3. I'm in.
Hall of Fame autographs.
Yeah, that's again, it's not something.
Used.
No,
Memorabilia.
that was like that goofy rubber helmet thing too on that thing, but it's a cool card. I mean, Gridiron Gear 08. Everybody loved it. It wasn't just like, okay, no. Our generation of football collectors fawned over that because you got like the what that was like double and triple patch. Then you had auto variations. I want to say you had like the old school playoff honors where you had the pull out, like you pulled the thing out and the jersey was glued to the piece of I got a fucking moth in here. So if you see it fluttering like right over my shoulder right now, it's like right
I see it.
there. I don't know how that occurred, but that's a treat.
Now it's behind your head. There you go. Now it's behind your shoulder. Head, shoulder, knees, and toes.
So again, it's just stuff that at one point in time people enjoyed. 10 years later, like, I want Luca. I'm selling all this shit for Luca. So 10 years goes past. Instead of paying $20 for Lem Barney, pay $15 for 3. So, but yeah, I tried. He's one that's wanted to get on. I've tried to get him on a couple other times and it just hasn't worked. And I said, well, trying to pick the people that are going to national, not to be a douche, but I want to get people that are looking forward to the show. So I know we're all in varying degrees of nervousness or nervous anticipation and excitement. So wrong song, Tyrone. I mean, you're close, but
Yeah.
there's body parts and such. But I mean, you made that wrong turn somewhere. I don't know where. There was a crack in the road that you just sort of veered off on.
But it's always people that, similar tastes. They're collectors. They might sell cards, they might not. Always say we love for it to be a self-sustaining hobby for us. But deep down inside, they're the people that we relate to in the hobby. So why not have those people on and just be an extension of the bigger IRP group of individuals?
Yeah, just keep adding people, and then again, you get to see people that Ryan doesn't have to be a businessman. He can talk about the business without sitting there and being a politically correct person, or not politically, but just like you got to watch your language. Aaron, I don't know if I've heard him drop F-bombs, but that's fine. On here, it's not.
He did.
I know. But I mean, that's before this. I can't recall because it's usually been Snoop and then Nate. So, and I guess Snoop same way. You come on here, you're a little more free. It's not.
You don't have to mind your P's and Q's
Yeah,
as it pertains to the profanity.
you're still representing yourself, but you can be a freer version of yourself. You don't have to sit there and be like, well, I've got to say frick and son of a gun. And if you say shit and fuck and cunt and cocksucker all the time, say it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to sit there, oh my God, cover the ears. Well, no, you should have fucking covered the ears about 140 episodes ago. So it's just fun to try to constantly get different people, try to bring back people. You want to see people that you don't see together. That's what I like too. I that's one thing I'm always in my head, which always has, it's like a fucking lottery machine, like the old Powerball. Everything's always popping, and that's like, I gotta figure out who would go together well, who hasn't been together, and how will they be if they are together. So and I like doing that. That's something. But then trying to like work around scheduling, work around this person's schedule. This guy's got work. This guy's got a family. This guy's so and so. When it's a challenge, but at the same time, if that's the biggest challenge of my day or my week, I'm fucking good. And it usually isn't, but I'm just saying that's you just work with what you got, and you hope at some point that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and put together something that people enjoy. And this one seemed to be a real good one. I mean, a lot of conversation, a lot of knowledge we didn't know about, a lot of just like the ebbs and flows of everything. It works, and that's the key. So,
yep. Sorry, I missed part of it.
yeah,
I was dealing with a situation.
fried chicken or grilled chicken? I know I just say both. I've said it before, and
No, I wish it was that easy.
chicken.
Well, I mean, I guess technically we can wrap it up. Yes. 3-hour mark.
Made it again.
Yep.
Bo, a tie show.
So, thank you, Neil, Ryan, Aaron Davis, all coming on, taking their time. Aaron said he connection problems. I noticed a couple times there, so he just said, "Yeah, I'm don't want to keep trying." I said, "Hey, no worries. There, we'll have you on at some point again, maybe after the national, sometime down the road when you and Snoop can get on and just see that connection. Maybe throw somebody else in there too, because again, it's fun getting everybody together and picking the names out of a hat and hoping it all works out." So, Neil and Ryan obviously coming on again. This is like the grind. This is the absolute grind lead up for them. So for them to take time out, that's always appreciated. Again, can't stress enough. You're going to national, just check out what they got going on. Even if you don't buy anything, which unlikely will be the case, check out what they got. To see all those moving pieces going in one direction, not the group. It's a pleasure to see, because like we've talked about many times, we know where they started. This isn't Drake. We know where they started. We know where they're at. We've seen that progression. I remember that first video from the card shop for RBI Crew. That basically looked like a teenager's room back in our day. You had a couple shelves of wax and the old JCPenney jewelry cases with some stuff in there. So to see where they've we're at now and know that the work, the sweat equity they put in, it's awesome. So support them if you can. Say hi. Make sure check out their podcast, Kicking with the Crew, on all podcast listening platforms. I'm not technologically sound with those things, but Kicking It with the Crew, you'll see their little logo. It's on the placeholder, bottom left. Maybe next week we'll talk about the middle portion of the placeholder. Our good friend Michael Bolton and the music that we'll be listening to, possibly on the way to, because we'll be driving.
We will not be listening to that. Just saying.
You guys might not be. Others might be. Somewhere, I think. But thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. If you see this in the archive, like we said, I don't know what we said earlier, but put something down below. If you listened, I can't remember. That was a while ago.
We try to be your sole provider.
Football people.
Yes, football centric channels on the old YouTube collector sphere. When I had a crispy chicken sandwich, I said I thought I loved you, but I lied. Because then I tried the grilled chicken sandwich, and I said I love all chicken sandwiches. I cannot hide that from inside. Because you know what? Love is a wonderful thing, but chicken sandwiches are also a wonderful thing.
So is this hobby.
For Vinny's. So is Michael Bolton's hair. For Steve, Dave. This has been the Instant Revolution podcast. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Collecting cards, absolutely wonderful thing. The friendships that you forge in this hobby, that's what really matters. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.